All right, and we should actually work now. Well, let me move this microphone to work and probably hear things better.
Headphones?
Nah, headphones are fine where they are. They can hang off the mic. It's fine.
Are you sure?
What's the worst that could happen?
They fall and break?
Nah. Oh, dearie me, no.
Ourselves.
Off. Back, vile demon.
That face I made when you paused it.
Just absolutely horrendous. So what's up, guys? So last time we ended up having a few errors. Apparently, when you just try to capture the window for Google Hangouts through Streamlabs, it actually will not show the people who are trying to talk unless we manually click on them. And I didn't feel like doing that. Also, Pam got scared about how white she looked on the camera.
I literally looked like a ghost, so I went and I put eyeliner on and lipstick, and now I at least look like a thumb with like a cut.
Like a paper cut thumb?
Yeah, pretty much.
So the reason we're doing this today, normally there would be an upload today, an actual like proper edited upload, but it's her birthday, and I like living, so I didn't do any editing last night. As a result...
Hi, Jerome.
How's it going, Jerome? If you've seen the Hammered Out podcast, you've seen her peripherally. She's the one that smacks me in the head with the hammer every single time that people donate super chats, which is probably going to be a continuing thing we keep doing no matter what. So as long as she's here and has the ability to smack me with the hammer, well, that's probably going to be the thing that happens. Jim says, "Sir's got the stream up and I'm willing to bet I'll need to restart soon." Oh boy, that would suck. See, Colby said, "Welcome back." Colby being one of the people we actually play card games with. Dr. Fearsome says, "Happy birthday."
Thank you, guys.
Also got a few other people saying happy birthday as well. So we're going to start out. Originally, I was like, oh, we'll just do this as open hangout as an Ask Me Anything thing for either me or Pam, but primarily her. It's her day, not mine. I was baking a cake in the morning because apparently that's what I do.
I took a nap, a 7-hour nap. And yes, I said 7-hour nap. He thinks that sleeping, I'm a panda. I go to bed when it's 12 hours later.
That doesn't make any sense. I go to bed when it's 12 hours later. Try saying that sentence again. I go to bed when it's 12 hours later. Are you a time traveler? Are you a time traveler?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Why?
Ow. Fucking
maybe you should show the kittens. This is also where the kittens are sitting now, size-wise. If anybody wants to know how big they used to be, go to the first iterations of the Hammered Out podcast, and you will see the size that the kittens used to be versus the size they are now.
Colby gets it. Thank you, Elias. I think that's how you pronounce that.
We have kitties.
His Thursday cooking or his Thanksgiving cooking was okay. I didn't taste the shepherd's pie because they ate it all.
So it was good.
I made the mac and cheese from scratch, which was not fun because we didn't have enough cheese, and I used evaporated milk, which made it really creamy. And then I made, what are they called? Sweet potato things?
Candied yams?
Candied yams, yeah.
So apparently Sarah Reeves says, "I no longer believe in evolution. I can't believe how you all have lied to me and others." Okay.
Sarah, this isn't about you, hun. It's about me.
You mean the movie that we're actually like doing a review on Mondays right now? That one?
Purple.
Yeah, no, that movie's a flying crock of shit.
Thank you, Clade, for the happy birthday.
So, I will say this is not going to be a primarily religious conversation, even though that is normally the focus of my channel. We might delve into a little bit of that at some point, but honestly, that's not the point of today. But if you'd like to drag it there kicking and screaming, that's fine. I have no problem dragging you down.
And I'll just ignore you guys and talk to the chat because that's what I do best.
Anyways.
Thank you, Robert.
So, I will say this, as far as science falsely so-called, it is a giant bit of propaganda. If you want to believe that Matt Powell knows anything about anything, then I apologize. I can't do anything about delusions. Anyways, that said, so it is Pam's birthday, and she is 21 today, which is horrible for me because it means that now she can go and get her own alcohol.
Because I like to drink and he does not.
Pretty much. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting time from here on out. But with that said, I guess maybe we could start out a little bit with how we met, which I used to be your boss.
So we've told this story a couple of times here and there, and so like most of the people in the chat probably know from just streams, bits and pieces of it. But I had just recently gotten out of a 3-year relationship with this long distance dude that I was dating. And he was the fucking worst. I was like mainly only with him because I wanted to kill myself at that time. I was suicidal to the point of no return, and he was the only thing keeping me alive. And he broke up with me. So I had a fucking mental breakdown. And I didn't go to work for a couple of days. Everybody started getting worried. My friend was like, hey, my boyfriend doesn't want to come with me to Dragon Con. I got an extra ticket. You want to go? And I said, sure. So I decided that night to shave half of my hair off and get into cosplay. And we met Cirrus at Dragon Con. And he followed us around, and we followed him around for a little bit. Until he started like texting me on my phone, and he was like, hey, is there anything else I can do for you? And I said, well, I really want to cuddle. And he's like, opportunity. You want to come home with me? So
yeah, pretty much. And then she just didn't leave.
No, I was like, when do you want me to leave? And he's like, whenever you want to. And I was like, what if I don't want to? And he's like, then I guess we'll bring your stuff here.
It's like, then I guess I'll just go get your stuff. Okay.
He never said anything about it though, so like I couldn't really.
The convention was Dragon Con.
It's in Atlanta.
Yeah, we're in the Georgia area, so it's the Dragon Con, Anime Week in Atlanta, and MomoCon are the ones that are here all the time.
Yep.
And yeah, Dragon Con is awesome if you enjoy 10,000 people stuck between 5 hotels.
10,000 drunk people.
Yeah, then it's fine.
Between 5 hotels.
I thought it was enjoyable, but it's also not really my cup of tea, so I'm not like biting to go to it again. It was a neat experience, but it's something that like I didn't care enough for outside of some of the things that happened there, like getting a girlfriend. That was an interesting part of that.
Right? My friend Anne was like, real talk, my friend Anne texted me as I was leaving to go home with him, and she was like, you're gonna fuck him. And I was like, no, I'm not. I am not a slut. And then I fucked him.
Yeah, you said you're not going to do that thing you did.
And then we showed up to the con the next day because I was planning on going home with her at that point. And she's like, you guys fucked, didn't you? And I was like, don't talk to me about what I do and don't do.
Yeah, pretty much. And so here we are. But, see, with that said, I am going to be throwing out some of the open Hangout stuff. Originally, I wanted to do this before the stream, and then I realized that starting the stream without being able to, like, talk a bit on our own was a bit awkward, on top of the fact that obviously the stream was not working the way I wanted it to originally. So,
thank you, Alan, by the way. Have a good day at work. And to Atheistic Snail, who can't be here right now, thank you so much for the birthday wishes.
Atheistic Snail's channel is really good, especially now that she's finally uploading content again. There we go. I've sent that there. Might as well throw it over here as well. Maybe, possibly.
I mean, we might get someone from there.
Maybe.
Cirrus is 26. He turns 27 in March.
There we go. Now I've got stuff sent out. Yeah, no, the 90s was a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
That was a weird time.
You were only born in 92. You're only a couple years older than me.
You! Terror! That is my mouse! Stop it! Stop biting the mouse. Bad. It's bad.
This is Terror. She is my baby.
She has not quite learned how to hop away and stop biting cords. Apparently, she thinks cords are tasty. So we're still here. Jerome says, everyone, let's just clock how close Cirrus is to 5,000 subs. Yep. There we go.
Yay, we got someone.
Terror, stop. How's it going, Duke?
Hey, buddy, what's going on? I don't think we've ever spoken before, have we?
Yeah, we have. We've been on Godless Island stream before.
Oh, we have?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've been on so many, I forget who I've talked to and I haven't. Looks like you guys got a new kitty too, huh?
Yeah.
Two of them, and they're both girls.
Ow, why would you pull her off of me when she has her claws in me? Why would you do that?
We're back in the room.
There we are. Hey, Black Sofa, you sound significantly less awkward this time.
Thank you, George.
Diocrates May says I'm the same age as his daughter. Well, that gives me a good range for how old you are now.
You're right.
You know, originally, I think Mediocrity, you've been watching the channel since I was at like 100 subs, haven't you? Something like that?
Was one of the first subscribers you had. Yeah.
Cat eats mouse, Cirrus, cat eats Cirrus. I mean, yeah, sure. But I don't want them to eat this mouse. Gaming mice suck to replace. They really do.
Hey, no, off the wires.
Why are you on the wire again? Stop it.
I don't know. They're just being assholes today.
I haven't used a mouse for years.
What?
I haven't used a mouse for years. I thought they were pretty much extinct.
What? As in, like, mouse for computers?
Yeah.
Why would you think they're extinct?
Well, I didn't think anyone used them anymore.
Oh, they're used all the time.
Dude, there are mice that cost like $100 that are professional gaming mice.
Oh,
these are really important pieces of equipment.
Excuse me.
I sincerely hope you're trolling.
No, I just haven't seen them around. Well, not here in the UK anyway.
So you don't have anybody in the UK that games on a PC at all, ever?
Well, not that I know.
They're too sophisticated for all that.
They're too sophisticated for gaming on a computer. Okay. Godless Island says he's upset we're doing this when he's at work.
Well, get off work and come.
So I understand we're throwing out birthday wishes.
Should not be a valid phrase.
I mean, why? Well, actually, hold on. I do have a contention with that. The Purple Rhymes with Orange is one of the people who's been watching my channel for a while, and I have a lot of respect for the guy. But that's where we're gonna have to come to bear. If a football player can be a professional gamer, because that's exactly what that is, then anybody playing a competitive video game should be able to do the same as long as all the same criteria are met. So.
And what did you say, Duke?
I said I understand we're throwing out birthday wishes.
Yes, I am the birthday girl.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Sure.
He decided that he wanted to do a stream today instead of making a video. So we were like, hey, it's my birthday, so let's just go ahead and do that.
It was also better for my personal survival.
I mean, I didn't tell you that you had to do a stream. I didn't tell you that I just wanted to make sure that you would have the video out before my birthday.
No, but it was whether or not I should spend the time that I was spending either spending time with you or baking your cake on editing.
That was your decision, not mine.
I know. I said I made a decision for my own survival.
Thank you, Jason.
Also, Curly Kid says, I have an elderly cousin that believes that the scientific consensus means nothing and that global warming is a hoax to justify the carbon tax. Can you make a video debunking his crankery? Yeah, I can debunk Zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist. Thank you, Reason.
Like that's really what that comes down to. Can you debunk the crack shittery from Zeitgeist?
See, look, he doesn't exist.
Ow! Ow!
See, look.
If I don't exist, why is our kitten causing me pain in my toe? It was at that point that everybody realized I wasn't wearing shoes.
That's amazing. I thought you didn't have feet.
Well, that's a common misconception. You see, they were chopped off in the war.
Oh,
the war about peanut butter.
Yes, the peanut butter wars. The Godless Iowan chopped them off with his batleth.
I see. What was your return stroke for that?
Well, if you want to ask what return strokes I gave the Godless Iowan, that's private conversation.
Oh, it's my stars.
Thank you, Pams.
Goodness
Steve Jones
gracious.
says the kitten is multidimensional. Yes, pretty much.
Yeah, they come in and out of existence. They just show up sometimes, and sometimes they don't.
Sir's birthday gift idea, watch YouTube video called Demented Cartoon Movie. That's the entire title. It's an old classic film, called Classic Flash movie, 30 minutes. That's up to you.
I mean, I'd rather watch Ruby and play Let's Go Eevee.
But have they concluded the last season of Ruby yet?
No.
Then I'm not watching Ruby. I wait until they conclude it. I do not like cliffhanger.
But it's my birthday.
It is. I can be an uncompromising asshole, can't I?
Yeah. Rolling a nat 1 can have dire consequences. Yes.
Speaking of that, our sorcerer in our D&D campaign rolled a nat 1 on perception. And as a result, the end result of him rolling a nat 1 on perception this one time, because he was trying to investigate some of the animals around where we were. And the part of the campaign we're in right now is we're trying to go sneak under this mansion to deal with a gang of thieves that are terrorizing a town. In trying to inspect some of the animals, he rolled a nat 1 on perception, and the end result was that now he thinks that all of the animals are linked via telepathy and are in on the conspiracy. That's what rolling a nat 1 on perception does to you. It fucks the psyche of your character for life.
Now anytime he sees a squirrel, he's like, they're going to be there.
Basically. Well,
That's extraordinarily complicated.
That's extraordinarily complicated?
Oh,
Yes.
That was interesting for the rest of us.
I mean, have you never played D&D before?
No, I grew up in the Satanic Panic. I was not allowed to play D&D, and then by the time I got old enough to do whatever the hell I wanted, I didn't know anything about it, and wasn't interesting enough to me to learn it.
I couldn't hear the last thing you said. Pam was saying high five.
By the time I got old enough to where it was like I could start doing whatever the hell I wanted, I just didn't really have an interest in it. Like I had PlayStations and Xboxes and stuff, and those were just more interesting to me. No. So I just never got into it. It's one of those things where it just never happened.
So the way perception is calculated, Fandon in the chat asked, perception is calculated by you rolling a set of dice for stats.
20-sided die.
No?
You roll a 20-sided die for perception.
Well, no, I'm talking about when you start.
Oh, when you start,
When you start, you roll six-sided die, and then you take and you add them up, and then that's your stats. And then they're based off of certain things. So I believe perception is off of wisdom. So if you have a high wisdom stat, you should theoretically have a high modifier to see more in perception.
Our sorcerer has -3 in wisdom, so he's actually pretty freaking dumb.
And then he rolled a natural 1, and a natural 1 in D&D basically means you literally are like the fucking stupidest, dumbass.
It's a critical fail in whatever you did. So let's say you're swinging a weapon, and you roll a 2.
Like for instance, hold on. Funky story.
Oh, is this one?
Yep.
Is this the boat?
Okay. No, I'm talking about mine.
Okay.
So my character was standing behind Cersei's character in our D&D session, and I tried to shoot a crossbow. Rolled a nat 1. Critical failure. Shot him in the asshole from behind him. My character's 6'3". His is 5'3". He's a foot shorter than me, and I still managed to get in his asshole.
Which also meant that I had to take extra damage because I wanted to pull the arrow out. And pulling the arrow out also made me suffer damage on top of the damage that getting an arrow shoved in my ass did.
Thanks,
Not fun.
So you pulled some Deadshot style shit, huh?
Pretty much. There's also the time in the campaign previous to this where we were fighting on a boat, and I had my paladin had 4 weapons available, and I rolled. So here's the difference between a nat 1 and rolling 2. If you roll a 2 on a d20, you miss your swing in some cataclysmic fashion. If you roll a nat 1, then horrible things can happen to your weapon. For me, I rolled a nat 1 enough times in a single combat session that my character ended up punching people at the end because all of my weapons fell into the fucking ocean and were picked up by... they ended up being picked up by freaking sea creatures and used against us. That's what rolling a 1 does. It screws everything up.
So who decides the consequences? Do you guys make them up, or is it like
the dungeon master?
Yeah, the DM.
Okay.
There is one player who is not a player character. They're the DM, and they basically play the function of God in the D&D setting.
Outside of the gods in D&D,
Yeah,
because they serve a function too.
So like if the DM says if the DM says that you feel like you're being watched, then there's probably enemies around. But if you roll for perception and roll less than what he rolls, you might just see trees. And guess what? You can't do anything if somebody decides to fucking combat slide you from the back. You just have to wait.
Yeah, your DM determines... The only things that the DM doesn't determine sometimes is like, if you roll a 20 on an attack or on damage and you know you're going to kill an enemy...
Hold on. Gauge. AMA is Ask Me Anything. So possible AMA is a possible Ask Me Anything. We might take questions about like us and like our relationship and like life.
Yep.
Later.
Relationship, channel, whatever. If there's questions, ask them in the live chat. I mean, this is just an open hangout at this point, so...
Fandon says, what if you have a good roll? A good roll is considered anything above like 15 normally, and
20 means a critical strike if it's
20
natural.
is a critical success. So if I'm fighting something that's low health and I get a critical success, then I get to decide how I get to kill that monster, enemy, whatever. So if I roll a critical strike and I've already got crit on it, then I get to basically make that character explode.
Right.
Yeah. Like if you want to rip out, like if you want to hit them with unarmed for crit for dead and you want to kill them by ripping out one of their ribs and beating them with it,
that's how you do it.
That's a thing you can do, and now you've got a rib in your inventory for attacking if you so wish.
or perhaps inventing women.
Yeah.
Yes, or perhaps inventing women if you are the god in your campaign.
You get it.
But there's also one of the only issues sometimes is like the more creative you get with what you do, the more roles you might have to do to be successful at it. So like if I say I want my character to run on the wall and jump off and hit this guy in the face, well, now I'm going to have to roll for agility. I'm going to have to roll for acrobatics. I'm going to have to roll for actual hitting them. And I'm going to have to successfully hit all of those. And it's all going to be contingent on whether or not gravity fucks with me because my character's probably wearing chainmail.
So like if you hit a nat 1 on all 4 of those rolls.
You hit a nat 1 on all 4 of those rolls, it might be nat 1 on agility, you tripped and hit the ground, you still continued trying, but you slammed your face in the wall, taking 1 damage, and you threw your weapon at the enemy on accident.
But it ricocheted off of the wall behind the enemy and hit you in the face.
Yeah, and it hit you in the face for go ahead and roll damage for your weapon because you hit yourself. So yeah, you could royally fuck everything up.
Jerome, the Let's Go games, I'm the only one in the house that has played Let's Go Eevee so far because I just got it yesterday. It's really, really good. It's basically just Gen 1 remastered into 3D. But the way they've done it is so fucking like intriguing that it keeps it going.
Yeah, if you've played the Generation 1 Pokemon games, so Red, Blue, and Yellow, it's a remake of Yellow, but they took wild battles out of the game for the most part. Instead,
it's just Safari.
Yeah, instead it's like the entire game is the Safari Zone, but catching Pokemon works towards your experience bar. So if you're going through Mount Moon, you're not having to fight 10,000 Zubats to get to the end. So it's a lot less frustrating there. Trainer battles and everything is still there, and the story structure is still the same. So you're still playing the same game.
And the only Pokemon
just
that
the grinding's out.
The only Pokemon that you have to battle are the Snorlaxes that are in the way in
any legendaries.
And any legendaries.
Yeah, every like Mewtwo and Articuno and all of them are battles that you have to do before you can try to catch them. Trainer battles, gym badges, all that shit is still battles you have to do. But if you fight 15 Rattatas, you're just tripping on them and determining if you want to catch them or not. And they actually appear in the environment.
No, Darth Killer. It's not that you're trapped in the Safari Zone. It's that the entire game is now like the Safari Zone. So now, when you're in Rock Tunnel, you'll see maybe Kangaskhan, you'll see Rhydon, you'll see the monsters, and the Pokemon before you can interact with them. And then if you want to catch them, you run into them.
Yeah, so like if you're running into Viridian Forest, whereas in the original game, you'd walk in tall grass and randomly encounter Caterpies and Pidgeys and stuff. In Let's Go, you'll go through Viridian Forest and you'll see the Caterpies and Pidgeys walking and interacting in the environment, and they may or may not try to attack you. So it's a little more realistic because you're physically going to see them. Like you're in Rock Tunnel, you saw an Onix, and it was taking up a good half of the screen.
And if you touched any part of it on any part of the screen, you got into battle with it. And the greatest thing that I think about when I started playing was they have this system where you can tell if the Pokemon is larger or smaller than its actual size is supposed to be, because it'll have like these little
it doesn't affect anything though.
It doesn't affect anything, but it makes it look nicer, because when you're wanting like, oh, I want a really small like Weedle, you'll see
you want a tiny Weedle.
You know, you'll see a Weedle and then you'll see like these little blue markings around it, and that shows you that that Weedle is significantly smaller in size.
Which confuses me because
I don't know any guy who wants a tiny Weedle.
You know what? Some people do.
Some people want tiny Weedle, and they would like tiny Weedle to do tiny Weedle things.
Yeah, I was going to say, sometimes the tinier the Weedle, the easier the going.
Yeah.
Gage is going to get really mad at me. I've never played Fire Red, and I've never played Leaf Green.
Fire Red and Leaf Green were the Generation 3 remakes of Red and Blue.
I never played them.
Based on what I've seen so far, though, I would probably take Let's Go over Fire Red and Leaf Green. Honestly, the biggest problem, you don't need to feel like an intruder, Mrs. Snarky. By the way, for people who have not seen her pop up, Mrs. Snarky is in here too.
We've got Mrs. Snarky, we've got Frustrated Atheist, we've got Duke, and we've got Black Sofa. Welcome to the birthday.
And of course,
Happy birthday!
Frosty the Snowman.
Seriously though, happy birthday, Pam.
Thank you.
I hope you're having a good day, kitten.
So far, yes. I woke up, I had a piece of cake for breakfast.
Yes.
It was cake that I made.
Cake! I always insist that you have to eat cake.
I ate half of the cake.
Do you want me to hold on? I'm going to grab what's left of the cake. Hold on.
He drew a panda on the cake and icing. I consumed half of its face when I woke up.
Of course. That's what you do. You devour the face.
But we played a couple of games of League, and we hung out for a little bit. Now we're going to be on stream, and then after the stream, we're probably going to end up...
This is all that's left!
Oh, that's adorable. Good job.
I'm actually salivating.
You're salivating?
I want to Pavlov dogs.
You can't be blamed for that. I mean, it's chocolate.
I mean, not to mention, Mrs. Snarky is the only person here besides Pam that can verify that my cooking is good.
Oh, hell yeah. He can cook. In fact, I'm going to have to go where they are, which is several hours drive.
Oh, no.
Just to go eat that stuff again. It's going to happen.
God, it's still so good.
What stuff again?
It's good.
You and I will definitely head down at some point.
That would be awesome.
It'll be even better when we have the house.
Okay, can you fly there?
I could, but I mean, we could just drive. I mean,
we add a couch and blankets. We'll make it a slumber party.
Yay, slumber party! You know I'm too old for this, right?
If you have a slumber party, you have to build a fort. That's a rule.
Messaged me fucking 2 days ago, and she was just like, "Hey, I'm broke. You're broke, and I want to do something for your birthday. I got liquor in my cabinets. You'll be old enough. You want to come stay the night?" I was like, "You're asking a 21-year-old to go stay the night at your house." I like it. Also,
can
we appreciate the fact that I disappear in the sunlight?
Yes.
Oh.
Gone.
Just gone.
Gone.
The heavens are shining upon you. By the way, hi, Black Sofa. Hi, Duke. And hi, Russ.
Hey, guys.
Nice.
What's a blanket to make it to where I don't fucking disappear?
Trying to, but...
I don't know. I like the fact that my face just disappears.
That's really cool. I would melt, because I'm made of snow.
We literally we started the stream, and I realized that I looked like a thumb. So, so when he had to reset the stream, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go put on makeup. So like, I put on black eyeliner and I put on lipstick, and I was like slapping myself. I was like, there, color. And then I'm sitting here and I'm watching as the sunlight streams in on my face, and I'm just disappearing. Like.
Also, we specifically made sure not to play video games for the stream.
Really?
Because
whoa.
you get to hear Angry Pam.
I am very angry whenever I play games.
I can't believe that y'all stopped gaming for a stream.
I know. I mean, y'all can game and stream at the same time.
I know, they do it a lot.
But he didn't want to do it. He was like, no, you're going to get angry. And I was like, I don't care.
You will get angry. You do.
Angry Pam is an okay Pam by my standards.
I don't think that we've avoided anger anyway. She seems kind of angry right now.
I think you want it, but you don't.
Man, I was hearing D&D stories, and I thought I was going to be able to tell my own D&D story.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I intruded and I interrupted. My apologies, Miss.
It wasn't you. Whenever I got on, they started talking about Pokemon, so I was like, "Oh, great."
Oh, I thought they were talking about D&D or a game, or I don't know. I'm old and confused, so carry on.
Fuck the camera up, Chris.
Wow.
Yeah.
When is
I had
Pam gonna make another video?
When is what?
When is Pam going to make another video? I'm wondering.
When somebody can convince her to actually start doing so. She makes excuses all the time.
Nobody would watch.
What does she normally do?
Oh, so Dark Killer says he wants to rename me into Madam Neko or Angry Video Game Gal. But the second one might be taken.
Probably.
I kind of like the Madam Neko one. Madam Neko.
It screams weeb. So does my posters.
Hold on.
You okay? What are you doing? You can.
Did somebody say weeb?
That's her phone.
This is me. That's I like her. She's pretty.
That's nothing. Allow me to point the camera.
Oh no! No!
Yes.
Not my secret! No! Not my secret!
I don't know, Pam. Are you a weeb?
No! My secret has been unleashed!
It's not a secret anymore.
Oh, damn it.
Nope.
Yeah, I think the cat's out of the bag.
Hey, don't worry. I don't know what a weeb is, so.
Weeaboo. It's basically a rabbit anime nerd.
A what?
Yeah, like Rachel. She's a
That does not.
I love you. No.
That does not clarify it for me. What did you say, Cyrus?
I said a rabbit anime nerd.
A rabid?
Yes.
Like they have rabies.
Might as well.
Okay. Now it's clear.
Thank you.
Now it's clear. I just that one word I did not hear it. Like my brain heard the word, but it just didn't register it whatsoever. It was like
frustrated. Your
what?
brain doesn't
What
hear.
did he
It's
just
outside
say?
of its ability.
Charisma. Yes, I agree. I am more on top of than we.
Well, it couldn't process the word. I don't know why. It just was like, what? It's like he's speaking nonsense to me right now.
Words are hard anyway. I mean,
yes, they are. Thank you.
Okay,
you know what?
So frustrated.
What's up?
So, okay, anime is a form of a Japanese cartoon meant for like a kind of mature audience.
Sometimes.
Right.
So a weeaboo is someone that takes it too far and they try to adopt the culture, but like to an extreme. So like living like an anime is like this. I am a weeb trash.
so basically, I'm getting flashbacks to that song. I think I'm turning Japanese.
Yes.
Except that song was about masturbation.
Well, I mean, potato, whatever. Words are hard.
Reasoned vision. You do realize that like the Japanese actually do consider Avatar the Last Airbender anime, right?
Yeah.
Like the people who anime actually comes from consider it anime. It's only Americans that don't. So,
What is your favorite anime?
Favorite anime?
It's hard for me to gauge.
You know, it's hard for me to tell. I mean,
if you consider like,
I can't tell which one I really enjoy. You know, I have a poster of it on the wall.
Yeah, hers is probably ReZero just because she wants to bang Rem.
Hey, I don't want to bang Rem. Don't make it that way. Please fix the camera.
Have you considered stop moving the camera so I don't have to keep fixing it?
What should be asked is to those who aren't really big on anime, what their favorite anime is.
It's probably going to be Dragon Ball Z or Naruto or Pokemon.
Wonder Lady ReZero is great.
Wonder Lady's an otaku. Wonder Lady is a 100% weeb otaku.
Does it have to be a television series, or could it be like a movie?
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a television series. So if your answer is Akira, you're right.
Yeah, I liked Akira a lot. I used to own that. Probably Ninja Scroll or Biohunter would be, or maybe Fist of the North Star. One of those three. But I'm older than dirt.
Fist of the North Star was a series.
I used to like Samurai Champloo.
Are we getting Grismer?
Might as well.
Raised.
Grismer's a Neptunia fan, and you're sitting here like writing Vert's.
I grew up watching Robotech.
I don't know if my answer was good enough, but that's what I always like.
What was that, Russ?
I said that my favorite was always Samurai Champloo.
Samurai Champloo was good. It was short though.
Yeah, it was. It was one season, and then like that season had like what, 15 episodes.
What about One Punch Man?
That's like your modern seasonal anime. Now,
I have a question.
Sure.
Did you say Samurai Shampoo?
No, Samurai Champloo.
Oh, okay.
It's spelled CHAMPLOO.
Lord have mercy, I'm so lost.
I could just show this.
Erased.
Thumbnail.
It is the thumbnail, but it's not. Well, I can't actually because that would be there, and then we'd get demonetized and hit bad. It'd be bad. That would be bad. But the anime that Russ is talking about is Dissen. I'll throw it up on screen for. Why is that such a small image? That should not be a small image.
He said Dissen, right?
Dissen?
Dissen here?
Dissen right here.
I reckon.
But yeah, it's this one right here.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Malware Bytes is giving me information. Fuck off, Malware
I
Bytes.
love that one. I love that one.
That looks kind of cool, actually.
It was. It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Mrs. Snarky.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
Is it me?
Somebody.
Okay, so Mrs. Snarky, we have to watch ReZero when, like, the next time we hang out, when we're together, because, like, you're gonna love Rem.
Okay, well, Little Snarky is interested in getting me into anime, and I'm just old.
It doesn't matter. Stop using that excuse. Stop using that excuse.
I just don't get it.
Okay, and that's wonderful.
Says My Hero Academia.
If I may interject, I would say there's probably one anime that's the best one to get somebody into anime though. FMA.
I like Brotherhood better.
Yeah, I'm talking about Brotherhood.
Okay. Then
my default is Brotherhood. Brotherhood's better than the original FMA.
Full Metal Alchemist is better.
Like if you want an anime that isn't like horribly weird, that can kind of bridge the gap between this is what you're used to as an American audience, this is what you're used to in anime. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood's probably one of the best ways to do it because it's a really, really good story to begin with. And it's just a very good show, and it's not like incredibly weird.
Welcome to the chat, Christopher.
Which is unfortunately the side effect of a lot of anime is that you can get into incredibly weird territory.
I think that's kind of my thing.
I
just think it's so weird. I've tried to watch it before, and I'm like, oh.
No, just try Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. In fact, I'm fairly certain it's back on Netflix.
Oi, can you type that out in the chat so I can like look it up or whatever?
It is. If I'm not mistaken, they have both Full Metal Alchemist and Brotherhood.
Yeah, but you don't want to. I would suggest watch Brotherhood first, then the original Full Metal Alchemist, because Brotherhood's better.
Okay, so Snarky, here's
Well-
the difference between Brotherhood and normal Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay.
Brotherhood is the shorter version that sticks to the manga.
It's longer. 14 episodes longer.
Whatever, it's closer to the manga. Whereas the original Full Metal Alchemist, when they were drawing it out and getting it out and animating it, they couldn't wait for the manga to be finished, so they took the story in a different direction.
They did whatever the fuck they wanted with it for the last 25 episodes, and it went into weird places.
Thank you, Atheist Edge, for the happy birthday.
Well, it was already weird to begin with because, I mean, you had the whole entire episode where dude turns his daughter into a dog.
Hey,
Oh.
Russ, have you considered not spoiling for people who are trying to, like...
That
Like,
never
literally,
crossed
that-
his mind.
Did you
That
consider that?
That one, that is not even a
It is
spoiler
if somebody
alert,
doesn't
because
know it's going to happen.
the memes are out there.
Russ, it is if somebody doesn't know it's going to happen.
Besides, Mrs. Snarky, she's not into anime memes.
You could
She's into those classy GIF memes. Okay.
Hell yeah, this is true.
So
Pam
Russ,
knows me.
you do know that you could just say like Nina Tucker, and everybody who's seen Full Metal
I forgot the
Alchemist
name. I
knows
forgot the
who
name.
you're talking about, knows
Oh,
the story.
Nina.
And
Oh
the people
God.
who haven't
no.
seen it don't get spoiled.
Okay, so I'm looking at this link that you gave me, and I think I tried to watch this before, but I will go into it again, and I'll try to have like an open mind. And
My
whatnot.
suggestion: sit through. So, Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood
Thank you,
are
Francesca.
identical in only one area. Original Full Metal Alchemist, the first 25 episodes are condensed into 12 for Brotherhood. I'd suggest watch the first 12 in Brotherhood, so that's a little over a movie's worth of time.
Mhm.
That will basically give you an idea of what you're getting into, because that's when you hit most of your plot points that let
Okay.
everything get started.
Yeah, because I was
Um,
mostly lost.
Starts the first episode actually, especially since you're married. I'm not being louder than normal.
You're being really loud. Chill.
Okay, fair enough. But the first episode, if you're married to the godless Iowan, so you already have to hear philosophy like all the fucking time.
I love that.
Then you'll enjoy it from the first episode on, because the first episode on is literally just a giant exposition on philosophy.
Awesome.
Welcome, Francesca.
Yeah, it
I
is.
started doing a little bit of philosophy on my channel as well. Just, reading Seneca and stuff like that, which is also very fun. I don't know if you've read it before, have you?
Read what?
Seneca?
Seneca on anger or of anger.
Hey, y'all were talking about like y'all's favorite anime earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to say Slayers is my favorite. I'm going a little bit obscure there, but
You're really going for Slayers?
yeah, man, Slayers or Tenchi Muyo.
There you go.
Tenchi, Tenchi's a confusing clusterfuck.
Thank you
but-
so much, Black Sofa.
Yeah, but it's an
But it's
awesome
good.
confusing clusterfuck.
It's a good confusing clusterfuck.
Yeah,
Um,
especially all the alternate universes and all that other goddamn.
Okay, no. Now there's a question we have to ask you.
what your
because,
favorite Tenchi universe is?
No. Sashimi or what's her
Tsunami.
face?
Tsunami.
Yeah.
Tsunami hands down. You mean sasami, not.
Sasami,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know why you said sashimi.
'Cause
I was wondering the same thing. I was like, wait, what?
Isn't that
And
tuna?
I said, yeah, susami.
I'm
Yeah,
thinking
sasami.
about sushi. I'm sorry.
So for those who are not aware, the story of Tenchi Muyo is basically this guy gets
Do
caught
not
in the.
listen to Wellington. Do not listen to Wellington.
No,
No.
do not. Wellington lies. Wellington lies. No, you do not start
No,
with Bible
Washu.
Black. Never. Do not
Washu is my
touch
favorite
that.
though.
Do not touch it. It is horrible.
No,
Not only is
Pandora
it-
Hearts.
Not,
Pandora
not only is it horrible, it's just porn. That's all
Yeah.
it is. It's porn.
Yeah, he knows it.
He knows he's trolling. But for
And
those
don't
who remember,
watch.
the story of Tenchi Muyo breaks down into Tenchi is pretty much just about to go into college. He's just about to go into college, and he gets caught in a crossfire on like a political alien conflict. And most of the aliens basically get marooned on the planet with him and have to live in the same house with him.
And they all fall in love with him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he gets so like mentally fucked as a result.
Well, I mean, he is the emperor, kinda. Like
depends on your timeline. It depends on your universe.
Did you see the OVA's third season?
OVA's third. Yeah, I've seen all. Well,
Tenchi
not
Muyo
all of them.
Ryo-Oki season 3.
Yeah, Tenchi Muyo Ryo-Oki season 3.
I don't know if I've seen that or not, to be honest.
It's very, very recent. The dub has not come out for it yet.
Yes, it is. The dub is out now.
The dub is out? Okay.
Yes.
I have
I'll
seen
have to look up that.
I have seen the sub version of it, and it is
Yeah, no, what they did is so you know how there's like all the different universes for Tenchi that are all like parallel?
Yeah.
Wonder Lady, yes.
So Tenchi Muyo Ryo-Oki is the one that we saw in Toonami originally, where Ryoko was like mummified in the beginning of the show and everything moved forward from there. So that show got a third season a couple years ago, randomly, like that version did. And it just finished its fourth season literally like 6 months ago. Like,
damn.
That one from the 90s got a third season. It's weird.
Well, that's just like how they did with Slayers with the Evolution R and then Revolution. Because, I mean, Slayers kind of stopped in the 90s, and then in the late 2000s, they finally got 2 more seasons. It's like, what? And I gotta admit, the new animation style in Slayers was actually pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, the only one that we kind of expected that to happen to was Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball getting Super was just kind of like, okay, yeah, no, that was going to happen eventually.
With Slayers, it was just like out of nowhere. And I'm like, hell yeah.
Watching this.
I'm just
everybody was watching Dragon Ball Z at that point. Like, everybody was watching Dragon Ball Z at that point. And it gained a huge popularity whenever it came on Toonami.
Everyone was watching it but me.
Who in the chat is excited for My Hero Academia season 4?
Oh God, I can't wait.
I have no idea what's going on.
I was
Have
late
you
coming
seen
to
the
it,
last
but I fell in love.
Of season 3 with Toga?
Not yet.
Also, don't spoil anything for the chat.
I'm not. Oh, you need to watch it. It's
Don't
super
spoil
fucking
anything
good.
for me.
I'm not. I'm saying that it's really fucking good.
Also, Wonder Lady, I'm sending you an invite into the Hangout because might as well.
Who has seen High School DxD?
You're talking gibberish to me now.
So that one also might as well be a porn.
Yeah.
Like
Valkyrie Tribe Mermaid. Oh God, I love that show. It's like Soul Eater, but with lesbians.
What about Kill la Kill?
Kill la Kill's awesome.
I'm okay. This is gonna piss off a lot of people in the chat and a lot of people in here. I really wish that they would have just given us more Kill la Kill instead of Attack on Titan.
You know what I wanted instead of Attack on Titan? Because here's the thing. The studio behind Attack on Titan is different than the studio behind Kill la Kill. So I can't blame anything on either of those. But the studio behind Attack on Titan was responsible.
You sent her the wrong link.
Oh, yeah. Oops. That's the one that I meant to send to Snarky. Let's try this one. But the studio that was responsible for Attack on Titan did make High School of the Dead, and I would have preferred a second season of High School of the Dead to any season of Attack on Titan.
High School of the Dead was really good.
Like, if you enjoy fight choreography, High School of the Dead has it on point.
Yes, Gage, we did say Kill la Kill. Yes, we did.
Yes, Kill la Kill, the anime that saved anime, according to only animator.
It's also, I mean, Kill la Kill, wasn't that the same studio that made Gurren Lagann?
Yes, that's Studio Trigger. Gurren Lagann, Witch Academia.
Yu Yu Hakusho, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Cowboy Bebop says.
Oh, Yu Yu Hakusho. Oh God.
Yu Yu Hakusho. You know we're getting a remake of that, right?
Sweet.
We're getting a remake of Yu Yu Hakusho.
Mm.
So I'd love that to happen. Kill
No,
lots of punch fetish.
If you want anime that
Won't look like a
you want
slut.
anime
but her
that
clothes
might
made
as
her
well be-
look like a slut.
sorry. But if you want anime that really is close to being porn as you possibly can, Seikon no Quasar.
But nobody said they wanted that.
No.
I want it. I won't lie.
No, I actually love ecchi because it shows how far they can go without actually being porn. But with
Yeah.
High School DxD,
But at the same
not-
time, it's like I don't watch anime for that. I watch anime for good stories and good fight choreography.
High School DxD has both of that.
Yes. But your statement was if you want something that's close to porn. My statement is, but I don't.
Oh, okay.
This is the closest thing I want to
One Piece.
This
I'll
beautiful.
pass on One
I'll
Piece.
pass on One Piece. Same here.
This one.
I did
This
not.
one.
I'm just gonna throw out random names now.
I think
Just
One
like Bleach.
should just
Russ
end.
is so confused.
Just like
I am
Bleach,
so-
I can't.
I'm just throwing out random names because I'm so terribly confused at everything you're talking about.
But you know, Russ, you spend so much time in your truck, you could actually watch some of these.
Yeah, I could,
Oh.
but I'm so busy not making content. And that takes a lot of power.
Why does
A
everybody
lot of effort.
Why does
lot of
everybody
effort.
learn how to make content from the cosmological school of uploading?
No, sir. So, seriously though, if you haven't watched it, Seven Deadly Sins.
I haven't, which I hear nothing but good things.
Do
So I
you
will
have
watch
any animation that isn't this?
No.
Hi, Faye.
Hi, why
Hi.
not Seven Deadly Sins?
I mean,
And
I
Bleach
changed
and
my
One Piece
avatar.
have nothing in common.
They do have one thing in common. They're both shonens that went on for incredibly longer than they needed to.
Yeah, exactly.
Not exactly. At least, I mean,
Bleach literally made its artist physically ill because he couldn't continue. That's the definition of going on for too long.
Yeah, but he doesn't do plot. He only does like what looks cool.
Excuses.
Like the Dragon Ball series.
The first season had a plot, and after that it fell apart. Dragon Ball, I'm not gonna include Dragon Ball Z, just the original Dragon Ball was brilliant.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he was contracted to keep writing and wasn't allowed to stop. Same reason why Hunter x Hunter, that guy
Oh,
has put out some shit art,
I
and
love
he's
Hunter
done
x
it
Hunter.
on purpose. And he'll say, "Oh, I'm too sick," and they'll see him at like the seaside, at the beach, or whatever. Like he hates his contract.
That's pretty much exactly what happened with Dragon Ball at one point, where they were just like, Akira Toriyama, keep making villains, and finally he was like, I'm gonna make a villain that looks like my editor and is an idiot. Makes Majin Buu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's a
Or-
fun bit of Dragon Ball trivia.
Hey, but- You probably over time just to get to the point where you're like, there's really nothing more to write with this series. Why don't we try something new?
Because Supernatural, the TV show Supernatural, it's a good example of that, where they kind of ran out. To me, they kind of ran out of good plot lines, and they just started
Yeah.
jumping the shark on
Yeah.
every season.
Natural, and I want it to continue. I want it to continue, but more of slice of life and less of like hunting monsters, killing things.
Eventually, you
Like-
run out of big bads.
Like
That's
I
the
want
problem.
like a slice of life intervention where like everything's quiet.
Yeah, my biggest thing is whenever I realized that they were starting to run out of content, well, better yet, I started accepting that they were starting to run out of content, was the episode whenever they jump through the plate glass window and jump into the actual real world where they are movie stars or TV stars instead of Sam and Dean, and I was like, "You've got to be fucking kidding me!"
I like
And
that.
then,
like, really?
They
I
sat
like that
there and they were
episode.
like,
I
"Oh,
did too.
let's just look up Sam and Dean," and then they find fan fiction and they're like, "Sam X Dean, what does this mean?" And it's like really meta, and that was really cool. But then like they just stopped. that was like the end of the meta-ness, and then they just went back and tried to get back to it was really hard to watch.
I like that episode though.
It was a
I mean-
episode, but it was heartbreaking to see that they were having to go that far and then not go any farther with it.
It's when you realize, so like when you realize that your show has kind of ran out of ideas and needs to take a hiatus for a bit. Take what happened at the end of Dragon Ball Z. Take the Majin Buu saga, like all of it, all the silly weirdness that happened in that, and then take Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball Super feels fresh. It feels good. It feels like a good anime again, and it's the same characters and plot and everything from before, just continued. But that's what happens when you have a good 10, 15, 20-year gap where all of your artists can just kind of sit back and refresh their minds. They can actually come back and make something good again if you can let them take a fucking break.
The original author, though, is only advising. He's not really writing.
Yes, Toriyama's advice. Well, he's advising and doing artwork. Like he's making sure that everybody keeps in line and another GT doesn't happen. Because nobody wants GT. Nobody wants GT.
It never existed. That's fan fiction.
You know what sucks though? Honestly, the timeline of Super still takes place before the timeline of GT, so they can still pull some stupid shit and call it canon.
Yeah.
They really could if they
I
wanted to.
reject that statement.
I reject it.
Unfortunately,
Well, how many times are they going to bring back Broly though?
I mean, they're not bringing back Broly. Broly was never canon.
Oh,
this is the first time Broly's ever going to be canon. Broly was never part of Dragon Ball canon before. He was a movie villain, and none of the movie villains are canon.
Thank you, Caroline.
Yeah, true.
The only movie or special, or the only ones that were canon to the show were retroactively put in as canon or were planned as canon. So, like History of Trunks. History of Trunks was canon. But like all of the stuff with Bardock wasn't canon until Toriyama started writing his own Bardock stories for a little bit that brought Bardock into canon. But Broly and Lord Slug and all of them are not actually canon to Dragon Ball.
Well, yeah. The only one I really think that's really truly canon is Resurrection of F. And
Resurrection F is the first 12 episodes of Super.
Yeah.
Second, it's the latter 12 episodes. First 12 are Battle of Gods.
Thank you, Super Saiyan Smoke Monster.
No, even if
I like Zeno.
Is the author of GT the author of Super?
No.
I don't think that's true.
Oh, it feels so much better.
From what I understand, GT was more of a collaborative effort from Toy Animation as a push project.
Yeah.
Whereas Super is a more organized and planned project.
I think one of the funniest things I saw about because I've never watched a bunch of Dragon Ball. I've watched a few episodes, but I haven't watched very much. But what I found funny was I saw a clip where Vegeta's training his son, and he's training him under so many times gravity or whatever, and the little boy's like, I guess I'm just gonna have to go Saiyan, and he's like what? And then all of a sudden he just goes Saiyan out of nowhere and pisses Vegeta off. I was like, that's funny.
He wasn't even really pissed off in that scene though. He got a hard ass.
See you later, Wellington.
He got a hard ass look towards Trunks, and then in the latter scenes when you actually see Vegeta like thinking to himself, he's actually proud. He just doesn't know how to show that to his son. He doesn't develop any method of showing his son how he feels until he commits suicide against Boo later. And even then, the most he does is he gives him a hug and then knocks him out so that his son can't stop him from going to kill himself. Toyotaru is the main guy behind the Super manga, but he's not the main... Toyotaru adapts the Super manga from the show. The show happens first. But that's very different than the author of GT being the author of Super.
Y'all know that feeling when you've been playing a video game for a really long time and you finally come across the thing that you've been looking for the whole game, and it makes your whole day.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that feeling.
I'm playing Dead Island Riptide, and my favorite weapon in the first game is the sticky bomb. So you just strap a piece of C4 to a knife and you throw it at the enemy and it explodes. It sticks in them and it explodes. I love it, and I've been looking for it for the whole game, and I just got it. So some zombies are about to get blown up. It's gonna be fantastic.
I could never get into Dead Island. Like, I have the first game and I've played it for a few hours, but I just got really bored with it.
Honestly, the first game it's a weird game series in the sense that the first game and the second game are almost identical, but the second game it's almost like the second game is a finished product. You know what I mean? Like if they rushed out the first one, but then the second one they took all the things that sucked about the first one and fixed them.
I mean, it was an indie game, so like it makes sense that their first outing might not have been perfect.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you've got an indie developer that took on a project like that.
Can we talk about how Fallout 76 makes me really mad?
I'm not playing it. I refuse.
The funny thing is, I hear so much mixed review about this. It's split down the middle. Like
that's because there are some people that like the aspect of it being only multiplayer,
and then there are people who like Fallout.
Like me. Yeah, that's why I'm not playing it.
Like me.
That's like I said, there's people who
I think Fallout 3 was the best.
I think Fallout is best.
Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas tied for best.
I think
Fallout
I like
4 better.
When it makes you feel isolated. And you physically can't have that in 76.
But
yeah, well, you know what it's like when they made the Elder Scrolls Online. It's like okay, but it's not an Elder Scrolls game. You know what I mean? It's not like Skyrim. It's not got that same open world thing. You could just go do whatever the hell you want. You don't have to follow it. You know, it didn't have the same thing. It wasn't as good.
You're constrained. It's the same way that, like, I hear some people say that Knights of the Old Republic is basically a sequel to Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic from the Xbox. They're like, yeah, the MMO is basically a sequel. It's a really good Star Wars game with the same mechanics. And I'm like, but it's an MMO. An MMO that locks your ability to run behind a paywall. Sorry, no, that is not a good successor to Knights of the Old Republic.
Well,
Sorry.
Colby, the thing about 76 is that, like, the way Fallout has been played, right, from 3 to 4, New Vegas, all of those, I don't like 4. But I think 4 tried to follow the same aspects as 3 and New Vegas, which were really fucking good. They made you feel alone. They gave you the time to explore. They gave you, weapons and armor if you wanted to fight. If you didn't want to fight, you could just sneak around and explore. If Fallout 76 was meant to be an exploratory game, they shouldn't have released it as a Fallout game. They should have released it as a fucking, like, mini side thing and then actually released a fucking Fallout game.
Now,
like,
I will say this. So Super Saiyan Smoke Monster says, I wonder if anybody will make a good live-action Dragon Ball movie. I'm probably going to piss some people off, but I think there is one. It's called Man of Steel.
Oh, boy.
They should not do any live actions.
No. There's some stuff you just, like, it just doesn't work. They made the live-action Fist of the North Star, and that was god-awful.
Like, I don't think anybody ever really asks for live action adaptations of anime. It just kind of happens sometimes, and it never really works.
Y'all are gonna hate me for this. I actually enjoyed the Dragon Ball live action movie, but with one huge caveat: you have to watch it as though it's not based on Dragon Ball Z.
That sounds like a mistake.
That's the only way you can watch it.
That's how World War Z was. The movie World War Z was like that. If you read the book and you watch the movie, like
it'll piss you off.
It'll piss you off because like you're gonna. But it's still a great movie. It just needed to be called something else.
That's how I feel with Ready Player One. Ready Player One, the movie, is completely different from the book in tone, feel, and everything.
You know what? I feel the same way about I Am Legend. The book was amazing. The movie was shit.
Well, you know why that is though for I Am Legend, because I Am Legend, the movie, is not based off the book. It's based off of the movie The Omega Man, which is based off of the book I Am Legend.
They've made several of those, right? They had The Last Man on Earth too, which was Vincent Price, which was based on I Am Legend, wasn't it?
I think so. From what I understand, though, the chronology for the Will Smith I Am Legend, though, is that you have I Am Legend, the movie, based off of Omega Man, which is a superior movie in its own right. And then the Omega Man based off of Lights. Then the Omega Man based off of the original I Am Legend book. I don't know if Last Man on Earth fits in there the same way, but I haven't seen Last Man on Earth to verify, so I can't.
Oh, I don't. I'm not saying if it fits in. I'm pretty sure Last Man on Earth is a film adaptation of I Am Legend. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I got pissed off at the film adaptation of Aragon.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Or The Dark Tower, for Christ's sake. I didn't even watch that. They watched it in the house, and I sat on the porch and drank beer and ignored it out of pure just anger.
So Francesca King says that Dragon Ball Z didn't have good pacing or characters. I agree with half of that statement. Dragon Ball Z has some of the worst pacing in anime.
Yeah.
But it also has some of the best characters. My opinion. They're not.
Actually, I'll agree with that. I didn't even really watch it like religiously. I would watch it if it was on, but I didn't pay attention to it. But there are some pretty cool characters in that show.
Like some of the characters, you can do really good character studies on characters like Piccolo and Vegeta. And now that Super has concluded, I'd say you can actually do a pretty good character study on Frieza now as well. Goku, there's an entire list of problems with Goku, but he's built to be a problematic character. So I'm fine with that. Oh, if you mean the movie. Well, the movie.
No, she's talking about Aragon.
Okay. Well, I know that the last statement was Dragon Ball Z didn't have good pacing or characters. And yeah, no, I think that its pacing is horrible. That's why if anybody has not seen Dragon Ball before, I would highly suggest watching Dragon Ball Kai. Like, watch the original Dragon Ball series and then watch Kai instead of Dragon Ball Z. It fixes the pacing issues. It fixes a lot of them.
I really like the original Dragon Ball series. When he's a kid, he's got the tail and stuff.
Yes.
I thought that was cute.
But when a fight takes 100 episodes, it's just, it drains you.
Well, like, consider that Kai...
She meant the movie.
Oh, the movie? Okay, yeah, no, the movie is a flaming pack of horse crap. Remember, guys, Bulma has a single blue streak of hair, and that makes her Bulma. Right? Remember when Goku got bullied at school and had to tell the school bullies about Piccolo? Remember that? Remember Goku going to school? That was part of Dragon Ball, right? Right?
I still think Piccolo is best dad.
Well, another movie that they made that was completely and utterly terrible, that was based on the anime, was of course Death Note. And that
I liked that. I liked it. It was a good movie.
It was terrible. It was terrible when you actually compare it with the actual anime.
The manga.
Okay, maybe that's what it is.
Elle was a perfect character.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer the manga Death Note to
the anime was had such great, the characters are phenomenal, but then in the movie they made, it was just absolutely horrible.
So if I could make all Death Note fans angry at once, I can do it in a single sentence. Death Note Season 2.
I prefer the manga.
Because I read the manga, at least the first.
Okay, so the thing with Death Note Season 2 is that it was good in the beginning, and then they were like, hey, why don't we make this an action anime? But like...
When it's not. It's a fucking mystery noir.
But
it's
like,
not action.
But like...
No, it's not action, though. It's not action.
I think part of the explanation for all of that you can find in the story of Bakuman, written by the same people who did Death Note, about how to be competitive manga and anime creators.
Aurora,
I will eat this potato chip. I take this potato chip and I eat it.
Like,
I'm gonna piss off. I'm either gonna piss off or get people to like me on this one, but Sword Art Online just stole everything from Dot Hack Sign.
So
entire
Dot Hack Sign
series.
was not a well-paced anime to begin with, but Sword Art has a problem of having writers that have their heads up their ass and don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
As an example, episode 3 of Sword Art, Kirito gets the gem that can resurrect people, hands it off to Klein. That's good foreshadowing. That's actually good writing. That tells you that characters in this anime will die. I mean, several of them died in the last episode. Characters in this anime will die. There's a chance that Kirito, the main character, will die. Good foreshadowing. Episode 14, Kirito dies. He's killed by fucking, I guess we'll just call him the Heimlich at this point. Whatever the fuck, Akihiko Kaiba's alias, whatever it was at that point. Kirito's killed, and Klein sees it. Good. We've now concluded the foreshadowing. Kirito is dead. Now, what should happen here? Because Asuna was killed, Kirito was killed. There should be a point where Klein has to make a choice. Do I bring Asuna back, or do I bring back my best friend? Bringing back my best friend, who will now have to live with the fact that the love of his life was killed in a goddamn video game. That would have been good. It would have made that whole scene have weight. Instead, Akihiko Kaiba decides that Deus Ex Machina is the best way to do it. He feels sorry for the things that he's done, resurrects the people he's killed in the last 10 minutes, and we completely forget about the resurrection plot point from the 3rd episode.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, no. That was the point where Sword Art went from this is a not a great anime, but it's a fun romp, to everything about this anime makes me want to gouge out my eyeballs.
I think the only thing good about Sword Art Online,
Yui.
and this is
Yui.
Yui is the only
Yui
good
makes
thing.
it worth watching. That's it.
Wow. But Dot Hack Sign, yeah, it had pacing issues, but most animes from the 90s had that issue as well.
Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop had pacing issues in episode 1 through 4. After that, it fixed itself.
True. I didn't watch much of Cowboy Bebop. Only caught a couple of the episodes on because I was watching it on Toonami at the time, so I didn't get to see all of them.
If I could malform your opinion and make it a lot more controversial, Digimon did Sword Art Online better.
Oh shit. That's a good.
I will piss off every Sword Art Online fan with that opinion.
Digimon was awesome now. Digimon was fun. Digimon is superior to fucking Pokemon. I'm sorry, but it's just the truth.
Digimon as an anime is superior to Pokemon because of but it was never meant to compete with Pokemon.
Yeah.
The only reason that those two are even mentioned in the same breath now is because of American marketing. They wanted the Digimon card game and the Digimon series to be a competitor to Pokemon when they brought it to America. But in Japan, the two are not seen as competitors. They are seen as completely different ideas. So I don't have any issue with Digimon being better or worse than Pokemon because I don't think there's a conflict between the two.
Yeah.
And yes, Reason and Rest, season 2 was mainly about L giving up his position to N, and N having to take over that position.
And then they gave the Death Note to like 5 different people because of reasons.
Well, like no, I like the way that they did what they did, because they had it handing off to certain people that would keep it safe, and that was really cool to do. I just think that L should have continued to stay the villain.
Pam's upset.
But who was really the villain in it, though? I mean, you
he
were
was,
actually.
He was Kira's
villain.
Like, he was the villain of Kira. He was the good guy when you look at it from the perspective of Kira is killing people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're actually
Nemesis. Let's put it that way.
The bad guy in that manga was actually, I want to call it the anti. What's it called?
You can have an antagonist who's not a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of. Antagonist. That's not a bad guy. He's actually, if you look at it.
That's why I said Nemesis. I rephrased it a bit because they're Nemesis. Neither one of them is actually good.
Yeah.
I mean, if you take
Actually, it only has one main character, and that's Ryuk.
Ryuk's awesome. I fucking love Ryuk. Because
I think by that, but no, I'm sorry. The main character is actually Apples.
Yeah.
apples are like cocaine too. Didn't Ryuk literally say apples are like cocaine to us?
Yes,
Pretty much.
Yes. It was great.
That was great.
I will say, there was an anime I was going to bring up, and it just completely slipped my mind. Nope, it's gone.
Okay.
It's out.
Okay.
Whatever it was. Oh no, it's like technically Dragon Maid. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. In Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, the main protagonist and all the supporting protagonists are all either neutral or evil.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. Except for one who is good. But she's seen as an antagonist for the first, 2 or 3 episodes that she's there. Like, she's seen as... Well, yeah, she's an antagonist for the first few episodes she's there. But she's actually, the only good one. Everyone else is...
Are you talking about the
one with the horn?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
By
She's
the way,
the only dragon with a good alignment. Every other one is they literally state they're chaotic evil.
Mm-hmm.
There's constant... What's up?
Mr. Atheist says he likes your stubble.
I've been telling him to keep it.
Aww.
Yeah, I really appreciate that you wore a shirt today, sirs, because in the geek room yesterday, you looked like you weren't.
I was wearing a shirt. It just happened to be a shirt that,
It was the same color as your skin.
It was a combination of problems. So the first one was that Tatted Atheist was getting everything set up as their producer. And the way he had everything...
Mr. Atheist. I leveled up today. I'm level 21. I gained 3 points in alcohol.
-1 wisdom.
Yay!
-1 wisdom.
But on the Geek Room, the actual... If you notice, the actual portraits they used for all of us were very low resolution. So by having a shirt the color that I had, it just blended in as skin.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, you were naked. I get it.
It's not naked.
I was there Frankie, Brand,
Look.
do you like me?
Mm-hmm.
Don't lie, you were over there showing them your balls. Don't lie.
That happened to me on a. That happened to me on a private talk one time with I think it was Iowan and Artie. Where Artie threw. Artie kind of had a little fit because I still had my Avi on. And he's like, "We're private. Why can't we just talk and look at each other?" So I turned my camera on, but I didn't have a shirt on, and I was like, "Why are you naked?" I was like, "Oh, I'm not totally naked."
Well, none of you guys know if I'm wearing pants, so it's fine.
I can confirm he's wearing
However,
You can't believe her.
No, and here's why they can believe me. Okay? He's got pants.
Echo.
I'm not.
Somebody's echoing again. I think it's Duke.
I don't know why it would be me because I've not changed anything. I've just got a headset in.
That's weird. It's gone now.
Yeah. It's just I'm just an echo man.
It was Satan.
It was the Satans.
Hail Satan.
Don't put it on Satan. Satan's a good dude.
All right. Maybe it was his cousin, Saturn, the silkier of deities.
Oh yeah.
I think it was actually Santa, the more cold-hearted one.
Oh, Santa. I mean, if you
still think it was
rearrange the
Phoebus.
letters, then of course that's Satan still, right?
Do you think
Satan gives
And
gifts to children.
hold on. If anyone would like to blue screen Cersei's shirt for just GIF, please feel free to do so.
Can I point something out that's hilarious and horrible? So because of the shadow, you can actually notice it's not the case, but because of the shadow, the way it is, it looks like I have this giant stain right here.
Oh yeah, because of the microphone?
Yeah, because the microphone shadow's there. As soon as I move away, you see it's gone. But just sitting here, I'm like, did I get something on my shirt? What the fuck?
But
Yeah,
no,
I thought you had just had an altercation with Chili or something.
Little girl with the white hair.
Kanawa.
Kanawa. She is the good alignment in the dragons. Everyone else is chaotic evil.
The one with the horn is technically good as well.
Which one?
The one who tries to convince the one who tries to convince the dragons to go back to the correct realm because
You
they're
mean the
fucking up.
one? You mean the one that fights the fucking The one that gets the job because she likes hot buns. That one?
Yes.
No, she's not good.
She's not good?
No. She's considered chaotic neutral. She leans on the good side, but because of everything that she destroys.
She's accidentally evil. That's the chaotic part.
Accidentally evil.
Well,
like,
I hate to cut this short
she
for
gets
me.
introduced, right? Because she's trying to fight like the main Kobayashi
Actually, no,
dragon maid.
I think Brannery's right. The small one is part of the chaos dragons as well. That's why
She's chaotic good though. I never said that she was
I don't think she's chaotic good.
Lawful good?
No, hold on.
I think she's chaotic good.
No.
Well, while y'all are figuring that out, I'm gonna go because I gotta go take care of horses.
Russ,
Okay.
you can't escape. You can't escape any of this.
Well, thank you for coming in for the birthday stream.
Oh yeah, and happy birthday, Pam.
Thank you.
Congratulations on turning the big 2-1.
Right, I'm excited.
I know. And well, I'm just gonna go now. I'll be listening through the YouTube though.
Alrighty.
Take care, Russ.
Alright.
See you later.
Alrighty, bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
You guys can continue talking. I'm
Yeah.
just reading through the.
Like I think.
Did you guys watch One Punch Man?
Yes.
She did.
I
It's
haven't
great.
watched it yet.
I loved it. I watched the
Thank you,
English
Brady.
version, the dubbed version, but I thought it was hilarious.
Yes, Francesca, I am very young. I'm the youngest out of most people in the house. Thank you, Skylar, for the happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Pam. I didn't tell you yet, but happy birthday.
What?
Said happy birthday, Pam. I didn't tell you yet. So
Oh, thank you.
I wrote it.
Yes, she did wrote it. It's right there in all caps.
if you really want good nostalgic anime, Trigun.
Trigun's good.
It's got
Dragon's
I agree
good.
with that.
great pacing, great character development. The voice acting is a little bit to be desired, but
It's late 90s. The voice acting's
It's
always going to be
so much
desired.
better
that's what I was
in
going to say. It's late 90s anime. I mean,
I will say
See
this.
you later, Caroline.
Outlaw Star now. Outlaw Star had great acting in it.
Most anime from the most anime from the 90s and early 2000s suffered from the dubs until Cowboy Bebop and Evangelion came around and basically showed people, hey, look, this is how you actually do production on an anime in America. This is how you're supposed to do
Thank
it.
you, Francesca.
Slayers had pretty great voice acting. I mean, they were all top A actors on that series. As in,
Kana is chaotic good. Because the only bad thing she ever does, the only evil thing she ever does is prank people. And even then, the only reason she's pranking people is because her parents literally don't give two fucks about her.
that's why Slayers is my go-to, because it has, I mean, it's a perfect anime in my opinion, at least.
Palm Top Tiger is better.
The Chaos factions in Kobayashi's Dragon Maid all seek to kill and destroy all humans in their buildings. Toru,
Of which she
Fafnir.
is not one.
Nope, she is not. Oh, I see what it is.
Kana is the only dragon that does not
Affiliate with any factions. Yeah, Kana has no affiliation with any of the factions yet, but she grew up with. She grew up knowing Toru, so I guess it would be assumed by that, though, that she was aligned more with the Chaos faction.
She can be aligned with the Chaos faction, but she doesn't strive to want to kill anybody.
No.
In fact, she actually takes a liking to humans and ends up...
She takes a liking to humans after she gets done telling Miss Kobayashi that she's a dumb slut. Stop seducing Toru with your body.
Well, I mean, if somebody was all up on me being like, hey, girl, I want to hit that. Get rid of your man. You'd get upset, too. Because then they'd be telling me to get rid of you.
Yeah. That is the half that I'd be bothered by.
I mean, you've said it yourself.
I mean, I'm Polly. I'd literally just be sitting there like, okay, look, you do understand that, like, getting rid of me doesn't have to be in there, and now you can't be here because you said that.
Mm-hmm. See you, Mr. Atheist.
Wonder Lady's just sitting there snickering.
How did you know?
Because I know you're the only one here who I know is Polly.
Am I?
We've had this conversation before.
The giggles, I love it.
That's
We've had
true.
this conversation.
I know. I could actually care less what people do too. I really don't care.
Thank you, Ethan.
But
I've
I
been.
disagree with you on the character of Goku and on One Piece. So we'll just leave it at that.
That's fine. What do you disagree with on? What do you disagree with on Goku though? I'm curious. There's a conversation there.
Well, it probably could wait until another stream, but I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with the consistency of Goku's character.
Oh, I don't see problems with consistency. I said the problems with Goku's character are there intentionally.
I don't see any problems though with his
Like
character.
the fact that he's a horrible fucking father?
He's not though.
Really?
Really.
The Cell games.
Not horrible.
Goku is a horrible father. Piccolo's the best
Yeah,
dad.
I'm sorry.
Nope, I
Piccolo's
disagree.
Gohan's true father. Piccolo's Gohan's real dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I disagree.
Well, you guys, I'm gonna have to drop out, but happy birthday, Pam!
Thank you very much.
Birthday.
Thanks for letting me join. I just kind of like wandered in here, you know.
Well, thank you for wandering in. Wandering
Of
in my
course.
DMs more.
Of course, I'll do my best. I'm terrible at DMing. I really am.
Aw,
Fair
you're
enough.
Can't even slide into Pam's DMs.
Also, tell Little Snarky that I'm very proud of her.
Oh, I will do. It's part of the reason why I have to
Aw.
go. She just got home and she had a bad day, so I'm gonna talk to her and stuff. But happy birthday!
Thank you.
Have you considered solving your problems with full-scale thermonuclear war?
I have. I'm still contemplating that. There's still time.
I'm working on it myself, but
See y'all in the bunker.
See
Yeah.
ya.
Bye.
bye.
That's a suggestion that the Iowan made to me about drawing her back off. He was like, just nuke Charlotte. It's like, I don't think it'll work.
Just
See, I see Goku as a very good father.
why?
How?
Wow.
Name a reason.
Okay, blah blah blah. Opening of Z. He does the sacrifice to save his son. Yes or no?
He didn't do the sacrifice to save his son. He didn't
No.
see any other way of defeating Raditz.
Thank you very much.
Right,
Kofi.
which is to save his son.
It was not to save his son.
No.
No.
He
He was-
even expressly goes like, "Man, the only way I have to kill him is to do this. Let's do
But
it."
why,
Piccolo."
why would you have to kill him unless it's to save the son?
Because
He wanted to fight him. He wanted to kill him.
like I will say that when you harm Goku's family or any of his friends, he will kill you. But from every character study I've been able to read or do myself on Goku, it's basically been that he views his family the same way he views his best friends, and in no higher capacity than that.
Like, for instance,
Everybody is Krillin to Goku.
in that same episode, it is Piccolo who throws a hissy fit that Goku is not doing anything to save his son. It is Piccolo who steps in and like goes and tries to make sure that fucking what's his face? I don't even remember. his name.
Gohan?
Gohan.
Piccolo
I kept
didn't-
wanting. Yeah.
Wait, are we talking Cell games or are we talking Raditz?
He's talking Raditz. Piccolo didn't do anything for Gohan in Raditz.
You went to check on him. Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
No,
Yes,
he-
he did.
You see,
No.
Piccolo was interested in using Gohan
At first,
in the
yes.
beginning, yes.
Yeah.
But also one thing that makes Goku a good father is the fact that he let Piccolo help his kid.
He was kind of dead.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
of
was-
course.
There's not a whole lot of letting when you're dead.
No, I'm taking from different parts of the
Okay.
anime, but like if we did page to page, I could prove my point, but I
If
can't do
we're
that
going
without
page to page, I would
pulling
show that as
up
like,
my manga.
I would show that as Goku being lazy and letting Piccolo take over the fatherly duties instead of him.
But also like how do I put this?
Goku was more interested in fighting
Goku
than
treating
taking care of
everybody
anyone.
like friends doesn't necessarily make him a bad father.
it makes him a good friend to everybody, but it makes him a bad father and husband, and he basically is those things.
He is also like
So I'm
an
reading a Reddit post all
alien?
the times that Piccolo was a better father than Goku, and the first response is, remember that time that Piccolo sacrificed himself to save Gohan? Or the other time that he sacrificed himself to save Gohan? Or that time Piccolo had to explain to Goku why his plan to have him fight Cell was flawed because Goku didn't understand how his son thought? Or how he entrusts Piccolo with taking care of his daughter over Goku? I definitely think that Goku is a terrible father thing is hammed up more than it should be. But I think you're downplaying the bond that Gohan and Piccolo share.
Oh yeah, I'm not downplaying Piccolo and Gohan. Trust me. I'm just.
Goku was a terrible father. I mean, it's
set
all
of-
over them.
It's a different set of what do you call it? Values.
Well,
Yeah, Goku valued fighting.
It's more in a line with traditional.
In the 4 years, right? Because if we're gonna talk the entire time that Goku or Gohan has existed, in the 4 years leading up to when Radish hits Earth, he was with Goku and Chi-Chi. But Goku was still trying to train, wasn't really around, was kind of around sometimes, but mainly just to get yelled at by Chi-Chi.
We don't actually know most of that.
It's heavily implied throughout DBZ that he wasn't really around, and that's why Chi-Chi was taking the hand with him. Because Goku wanted him to fight, she didn't want him to fight, so she said, no, he's my son, he's going to study. And Goku, instead of like being a good dad and being like, oh, you know, my wife is fucking right, you know.
He didn't think she was right though. That's the thing.
That's why I said instead of being a good dad and saying my 4-year-old shouldn't be out fighting enemies, he was like, yeah, my 4-year-old should definitely fucking be out here getting his face
You're
in the dirt.
human morality on an alien.
Well, the thing is that with Goku, the human morality thing works because when he got hit in the head, and his memories basically got reset. The only thing he really kept were his fighting instincts, but he was raised and did nothing but live in and amongst humans. All of his morality was shaped by Earth. That's one of the reasons that, like,
true, and most of that was shaped by his
grandpa.
Okay,
and I'm thinking that Grandpa was like Goku is basically acting like his grandpa, but he also has the instincts of an alien. Just because it got rid of the program that said kill everything doesn't mean it wiped his memories. It got rid of the program.
You're right. I still would believe that Piccolo was a better dad. Like
Piccolo definitely is he's more human than Goku in that way. Like they have a comparison that like the Saiyan race is more in lines of, say, a traditional Japanese family type thing.
Well, the
Even
Saiyan
though Bulma
race
has an American lifestyle versus Goku and Chi-Chi, who are more traditional.
Well, the thing that's weird to me, like, the reason that it always... So, it's revealed in Super that Goku never has kissed Chi-Chi before. It's not a thing he's done.
Right.
And it's shown through Piccolo understanding how a father and son are supposed to interact. Whenever Piccolo gets upset at Goku on multiple occasions for him not acting the way he thinks a father should, and the way that even Vegeta can demonstrate how a father should act better than Goku does.
But Vegeta was actually treasured and loved.
So was Goku.
Yeah, so was Goku.
He was treasured and loved by Grandpa Gohan.
Yeah.
Yes, but Grandpa Gohan showed his love through, like, teaching the kid how to fight. And to bleed off that aggression in training.
Yes,
like,
because Goku showed very obvious signs of aggression when he came to Earth. How else would you deal with a child that could fucking break a tree in half because he was so aggressive?
Vegeta had more time with his actual parents.
Vegeta's...
And he wasn't treated like a regular Saiyan.
No, but he was also treated like the heel of a boot a lot of the times, too, because even though
he was a prisoner of war.
Yeah, he was a prisoner of war for most of his life.
Right.
Vegeta's just an arrogant prick. I mean, come on.
He's an arrogant prick, but he also doesn't live up to his own standards, so he's disappointed in himself.
Well, I
think the
mean,
reason
compared to the
Vegeta-
amount of times that Vegeta has like gone out of his way for Trunks versus the amount of times Goku has gone out of his way specifically for Gohan,
Well, see, with Vegeta,
takes the win.
Like what
Yes,
is
but
with
like
but
what
no-
does Vegeta do during the Cell games? Vegeta gets upset that Trunks is hurt and does everything in his power to stop him. What does Goku do? Goku
Tries to fucking ram his face
Goku
into
tries
Cell.
to throw Gohan into Cell, and the only time that Goku decides that he needs to sacrifice himself to handle the situation is because Piccolo is the one that told Goku he needed to do it. Piccolo spent a good 3-ish episodes in the original one trying to explain to Goku, this is what you're doing wrong. You're not being a father. You're screwing up. You're sending your son in to die. Goku didn't see that. Goku couldn't see past, my son is a martial artist. He's going to be a good martial artist. He couldn't see past that because
But
he's a
he
martial
also
artist first,
said
father second.
passing the reins, which was the whole point of Dragon Ball Z, was to show Gohan taking over. However, the fandom didn't.
The
allow that
fandom
to
didn't
happen.
like that.
Right. It was
so-
supposed to be Gohan's like stepping into Dad's shoes.
Can I just say that I snicker internally every time you guys say Vegeta?
Do you just hear vagina every time?
Every single time, dude.
I just hear vegetable every time.
Right?
Either that or fajita. That's the two things that come to mind.
Vegetables.
Vegetable. Does sacrifice mean you're a good person? I would say not necessarily. If you see, if you see no
I
other
try
way.
to look at it from the point that Goku isn't human, and he is more instinctual. And plus, Chi-Chi does more parenting and more smothering than, like, if both parents were both equally lavish, Gohan would be useless.
I'd say that I think
That doesn't make up for the fact that throwing your kid, who is half human, so he's not as strong as you, he's not as strong as
Actually,
powerful.
Gohan is
More powerful.
way
Well,
more
at that-
stronger than
at that time
Goku.
he tried to throw him into Cell thinking that he was going to be as powerful, but Gohan hadn't hit that point
yes,
yet.
Super Saiyan 1 Gohan is weaker than Super Saiyan 1 Goku at that point. It's Super
Like-
Saiyan 2 Gohan who's actually stronger.
Like, at that point, Goku was trying to throw his kid into a life or death situation that he thought he was just going to shrug off his shoulder and win, like Goku would. Because that's all he saw was a tinier version of himself, whereas Piccolo saw the actual child that was going in to fight this manic fucking, psychopath who tore apart cities, and saw that child was afraid. And instead of, Goku realizing that this kid has mental issues, and why are you throwing a child into the art of war? He's not prepared for that. Piccolo was able to actually identify that Gohan was not ready. He wasn't mentally prepared. He
I
wasn't
agree
quite physically
on
prepared
that,
yet.
but I
Yeah.
also think that Goku thought that Gohan's biggest issue was confidence and that he needed a win, and he, through training with Gohan, recognized that Gohan was the stronger of the two.
Well, Gohan had even Vegeta recognizes in Super that Gohan has the most potential of all of them because he's a half-breed. Because for Saiyans, half-breeds are stronger. Because one of the things that Saiyans, their biology gives them a good lock on their emotions, but every time one of them's gone into a transformation for the most part, it's been because their emotions explode. Well, luckily, Gohan happens to be a short fuse with a giant stick of dynamite. So, of course, Gohan has more potential.
Thank you, Clockwork.
But I think that's why Goku did it. He knew he couldn't beat Cell, but he thought Gohan could.
I'd also say that Clockwork Rex says too much useless knowledge. No knowledge is useless if you're enjoying it. Like we're able to have a conversation of bonding because of the knowledge of the show that we all have.
Exactly.
It makes it not useless knowledge by default.
Character studies.
I agree with that.
I think
I agree with that all day because, like, if that's the case, like, my knowledge of Marvel Comics from Golden Age up until probably the 90s would be useless. But I've had so many great conversations with people based on like the cinematic universe and all that stuff.
Yeah,
That
and talking about characters and characterizations, it lets you explore things that are uncomfortable without actually getting personal.
So much easier to explore the human condition vicariously through other people than it is to do it through
Thank
yourself.
you. Well put. Well put.
There was something you wanted to say
Well
just a
put.
second ago.
Oh, I was just gonna say that, like, if we're talking beginning of DBZ, I would not agree that Goku is a good dad. I don't think that that's what he had in mind. I don't think that he was like, oh, yes, my son, so much potential, yes. I do think, however, in the latter arc of DBZ and into Super, he starts actually becoming more of a father throughout Gohan growing up.
In Super, he manages to a little bit.
Like,
That's about it.
like he gets a curve. He starts feeling the fatherly instincts that he should have been having before. He's just feeling them now with Pan. And he's feeling that instinct of, I should protect this small child. I cannot lose this small child. This small child, while is a Satan, is a child. Like, you see him start to make that curve.
Pan can fly around the Earth. She's literally a problem.
But you see him take on that, like, shit, like, mentality. Just, it's fucking great. Whereas Piccolo has had it through the entire DBZ into Super arc.
Right,
Piccolo's
because
basically been
also
the one stuck
Gohan
right
is the
Gohan.
first thing that Piccolo ever loved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because at that point,
And
wasn't
now he
Pic-
loves Pan? Oh my god!
At that point, Piccolo was like only, what, 7 years old?
Yeah.
The beginning of Dragon Ball Z? Piccolo was
Yeah.
only about 7 years old.
Yeah.
Because he had
And then
three...
after he fuses with Kami, he has a different perspective. And the same thing goes with Nail.
Yeah, when he fuses with Nail, he gets an appreciation for his homeland. When he fuses with Kami, that's when, like, all of the battle instincts that he's honed. That's why Piccolo is considered like one of the smartest fighters in the Dragon Ball universe.
Exactly.
Because he's started out from age 3. Nail.
I'm sorry.
Nail. I saw a fish. Kick its ass.
I'm sorry. Anytime I hear Nail, I just think of just Nail.
I know. I love that. Don't you? Nail. Nail.
Do we have any sandwiches? Nail.
Nail.
The,
Turn on the TV. Sir, we don't have a television. Nail. Get me a flat screen TV.
Exactly. You have seen it then.
Super Kami
Yes.
Guru is one of the best things that came out of Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
I love the Abridged series.
Why does he keep hitting me in the dick?
He keeps hitting me in the dick. That one was for the dick.
That's gonna be my favorite part on Abridged.
Nail. I saw a bird. It was pretty.
Yeah,
Kick
kick its ass.
And
I
I agree with Roshi. The reason why Goku decided to stay dead was because he feared his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty apt.
Also, for the
Very
people who do
much.
want the link to hop in, you have to message me on Twitter for me to send you a link.
I
can do it.
have to actually go in the next half hour, but I'm having fun.
I'm just glad that they turned out better than I hoped.
I feel like I wandered
Yay.
into like a upper end physics class. Like I hear you guys are talking about stuff, but I have no idea what any of the terms mean.
Well, actually, there is something that I'd like to get your opinion on, Duke.
Okay.
Okay, my personal opinion. Scarlet Witch from Marvel Comics, infinitely more powerful than Thanos because she can do to the entire Marvel universe with a few words what Thanos has to get the Infinity Gauntlet to do.
That's
Yes.
true.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that was kind of written in at a later date. Like
That's
they
because her powers
increased
were
her.
ambiguous until they needed them to not be.
Right. Right. Well, she's like what? She's a
Asking
Prob-
you that because he was like, "Why didn't she just do that in the movie?" And I was like, "Because she doesn't understand herself yet. She doesn't
Well, if you read,
Thank you for saying that.
well, if you read the original Infinity Gauntlet, like she gets smashed by Thanos.
Yeah, and
But the original Infinity Gauntlet is before the End All Mutants. It's before House of M, right?
Right.
And it's the
That's
end
what I'm
of
saying.
House of M that she does the End All Mutants thing. So she's always been that powerful. She just didn't know that she could do that.
that's why I said she needed that like loss. She needed to understand that like she needs to push the barriers. She needs to feel the rage and anger, but the hope that she can do shit.
Also, Darth Killer said, doesn't the Scarlet Witch need energy for harder things? Only in the movie. In the actual comics, Scarlet Witch's powers are nigh infinite. They're tied only to her emotional state. Has nothing to do with energy.
And that's why my theory, again, is that she doesn't understand the ability and the lengths at which her power can go in the cinematic universe yet, because A, the only loss she's experienced is her brother, and even then she felt it secondhand. She didn't see him die like she saw Vision die. So when she comes back, inevitably, fucking, she's gonna come back and she's gonna rip Thanos a new fucking asshole, and it's gonna be moist.
Assuming that they give her powers, akin to the kind she has in the comic books.
Well, Nebula is not going to be able to kill Thanos, and Nebula is the only way that the cast of characters can come back, because Scarlet Witch, spoilers, needs to have a heart to exist, and Nebula right now is the only one that can like help bring back the cast of characters. If you read the comics, you'll understand.
Yeah.
In the comics, Nebula fucking frisks the Infinity Gauntlet and fixes everything.
Well, like, she's the only one that can do it. She's the only one alive in the cinematic universe that can get close to Thanos, that can get it. Scarlet Witch cannot get it. Vision cannot get it.
But in the comic books, like the whole like Nebula being raised by Thanos doesn't exist. Like she claimed that Thanos was her grandfather, but he never really accepted that was true. Like he shows up, she stole his ship, and he shows up and blasts her and burns her all up, which is how she turns out to be all messed up when she shows up on his throne, like on his big altar that he builds out in the middle of nowhere.
Well, that's why I said she's going to have an easier time getting the gauntlet and, like, getting back to Tony to help bring back everyone. Because there's no one else that can do it. There's no one that can actually, get close to Thanos. And I think
I'm curious how
it makes sense how they wrote her to be his daughter. So that way she could get close to him to get the Infinity Gauntlet to bring everyone back.
Who all are stranded with Tony right now at the end of Infinity? I forget who's stranded with Tony.
It's Tony,
I don't remember.
Nebula, Rocket from the start from Guardians.
Everybody knows who Rocket is.
I think it's like Steve. I think it's the Hulk.
Is the Hulk on the? I don't think Bruce is on the planet with Tony.
Oh, you mean stranded? I thought you meant, like,
I'm not talking about all the survivors.
It's
I'm
just
talking
him
about
and Nebula. Nebula and Rocket.
That's all I was curious about, because I'm curious about how they're going to write them getting off.
Well, Rocket is intelligent as fuck, and Tony is also intelligent as fuck, and they are going to be able to do something with the materials on the planet, because Rocket has always been able to work with it.
I'm curious how they're going to tie the Adam Warlock into it, because at the end of the second Guardians of the Galaxy, it showed that they're growing Adam Warlock. Now, he was a huge part of the Infinity Gauntlet. In fact, he's who took Thanos down in the end. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious as to how they're going to tie that in. Like, if there's going to be another Guardians movie in between then and now, or if they're just going to have a standalone for Adam Warlock, or what?
They've already confirmed that Rocket's getting his own movie. Whether that means it's going to be a Rocket exclusive movie, or if that's like Rocket in his time between fucking Infinity War and Avengers 4. But Rocket's getting his own movie confirmed, and it's going to be his backstory and up to date and where he's at in Infinity War. Thank you very much, Francesca. So it's confirmed that he's getting another movie. Guardians of the Galaxy is getting another movie.
But are all those happening before? Because I think we're getting the second Infinity War in early summer next year, aren't we?
I don't know. I'll have to look it.
Yeah, I'd look it up because the only movies that matter for that part of the conversation are the ones that are going to happen before Infinity War.
Yeah.
Marvel movies.
I don't know if y'all heard, but I had 2 cats fighting in my house just then, and I have no clue because I have 1 cat.
I didn't
only
hear
one cat.
them.
Also, Prophet of Zod says, "Where was Superman at the end?" Well, you see, he was busy doing a DNA test and finding out that General Zod was actually his real father, not Zor-El. So, sorry.
So there is an untitled Avengers film coming out May 3rd, 2019, estimated.
Yeah, that's gonna be Infinity War 2.
Captain Marvel comes out March 8th, 2019.
See, I prefer.
No, that's interesting too.
Drawn.
That's interesting too, because the original Marvel was like Thanos' antithesis. Like those two were like nemesis to one another.
So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. Although I will say, and this might piss off some of my audience, I am way more of a DC person than a Marvel person.
Me
Thank
too.
you.
Honestly,
It depends on the medium. Like I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe is superior to DC's all day.
The cinematic universe kicks the shit out of DC's universe, but I think in comics and in the era of animation, DC has them beat.
DC's animated universe is superior to just about everything. I think. Like I don't think there's any animated movie I've seen that I like better than like Doom or Under the Red Hood or any of those.
Really good. I got her to watch it.
We just watched it yesterday. Yeah.
I'd already seen it, but I wanted her to see it.
Jensen Ackles too.
I read it.
Metal.
I didn't see the movie, but I did read the comics about the Red Hood.
It's done better in the movie, in my opinion, because in the comics, they Jason Todd coming back because Superboy Prime punched the universe really hard. Sorry, that's
okay. That's weird.
That's what they did in the comics for bringing Jason Todd back. In the movie, it turns out that Ra's al Ghul was behind the Joker's escapades, and he didn't intend on Batman losing a Robin because Ra's has a soft spot in his heart for Batman. So he actually confiscated the body of Jason Todd and got it tossed in a Lazarus pit, and that created Jason Todd the Red Hood in the movie, which I think is a much better, more down-to-earth story than Superboy Prime punched the universe really hard.
So, funny story about the Marvel release dates. Disney has scheduled multiple release dates for untitled Marvel films, including May 1st and November 6th, 2020, February 12th, May 7th, and November 5th, 2021, February 18th, May 6th, and July 29th, 2022.
And I think the Green Lantern Corps movie is coming out either next year or 2020.
And that should be good.
They're going to never stop.
Yeah, I hope and pray that.
I'm hoping that the Green Lantern movie that they make is way better than Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern movie.
Oh, God.
Anybody know which iteration of Green Lantern is going to be?
It's probably going to be Hal. I don't see them not doing Hal. Since the New 52, the definitive version of Green Lantern has been Hal, and the definitive Flash have been Barry. Even though my favorite Green Lantern is Jon Stewart, and my favorite Flash is Wally West.
My favorite Flash is the original.
My favorite Green Lantern has to be Kyle Rayner, or in the Rebirth.
Kyle Rayner is way too overpowered. I'm sorry.
I fucking love Kyle Rayner.
I don't like God Lantern.
I like Alan Scott and Jay Garrick. Those are my two favorites.
You mean the White Lantern Kyle Rayner?
Yes, White Lantern Kyle Rayner is basically just God Lantern. No, bad.
Well, I mean, he traveled past the source wall, got the life equation. I mean, come on.
I do like how the Justice League show basically ends with Lex Luthor just like grabbing Darkseid and going, "I found the anti-life equation. Do you want it?"
No, they both died. Well, I guess
my favorite.
I don't know,
They don't die. There's no explanation as to whether or not Lex Luthor would be able to survive being out in space where the anti-life equation is. But in the comics, when Darkseid finally gets the anti-life equation, he goes to Earth and he just starts showing it to people. And everybody that he shows the mathematical proof for the anti-life equation proves that all life is meaningless, and it just makes everything devolve into chaos and people just start dying. So, like, Darkseid getting the anti-life equation doesn't mean that he dies. It just means he's got a tool.
My favorite part, though, in the Justice League was whenever Lex Luthor took over Barry Allen's body.
That.
By the way, that's not Barry Allen who took over Wally West's body.
I had no idea who this is.
I had no idea.
That was amazing.
Takes off the mask. I have no idea who this is.
Best line ever.
Barry Allen and Wally West are both Flash.
But not in the Justice League animated series.
And then there's XS.
No, in the animated series, Wally West is the Kid Flash, isn't he?
No, Wally West is the only Flash in the... in the animated series, Wally West is the only Flash they show.
Oh, okay. That's always confusing because you never know which iteration is going to be used. Like in one of those animated series, they could just pick anybody. It could be Dick Grayson. It could be,
But wait, I thought we were talking about. Either what was it? Either Justice League Unlimited or Justice League that he took over Wally West's body.
Yes, it was in Justice League.
Justice League, yeah.
Oh, okay. But you know what? I love both. Sorry, I was just going to say I love both Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. Justice League because it introduces the Justice Lords, which was always
the inspiration for Injustice.
Right.
Well, yeah. Interesting. What else was it? But no. After the Justice Lords, come to like I guess Earth 1 or Dimension 1. That's when you have Amanda Waller just. I don't know. I really enjoyed Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, especially especially the last episode they did, which takes place in the future.
Oh, the last episode of Batman Beyond.
Well, technically, it's the last episode of Batman Beyond, but it's also the last episode of Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah,
I know it's like the one before is the last episode, but yeah, just God. That backstory with Ace always gets me.
I think it's funny that they decided in the Justice League show not to include the most powerful Justice League member, Plastic Man.
No, I know you're trolling me. Come on.
No, Plastic Man can actually kill Superman. Let's be honest. All he has to do is get into a single pore. Superman's got to breathe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough. But that means he can kill anybody, even Darkseid.
Yes.
I mean, Darkseid needs to breathe.
Yes, that means Plastic Man could kill Darkseid. That's why I said he's the most powerful character in the Justice League.
Okay,
I was not aware that Superman had to breathe.
He does. He still does have to breathe.
Because he goes into space a lot.
He can go into space, but you physically see his character breathing all the time. And anytime that you put Superman underwater, he ends up not being able to breathe there either and has problems.
Okay, that's a hell of an inconsistency there, because he can breathe in space, but he has to hold his breath in water.
It's comics.
And can we just say...
Though I would say, here's what you can do. Fine, he doesn't have to he can get into a single Superman pore. Instead of making him not be able to breathe, he could just smother his brain. Now there's no red blood cells going anywhere. He doesn't even have to kill. He doesn't even have to cut it, because he can't cut it. You can't. They've shown in the shows that like you can't do surgery on Superman without using like a kryptonite scalpel.
Yeah, I think Dark Knight's Metal has shown that Batman is indeed the most badass character in DC.
Badass, but not the most
powerful.
No, that's one of those. He has to have a plan in place. Like Superman literally has put the bitch smack on Batman more than once. It's just there's been a couple of times.
Done the same.
Right, but if like he has to sneak up on him.
He took his woman.
I will say this: there is one moment in the Batman Darkest Metal series that solidifies to me both that Superman can kick the shit out of Batman whenever he wants to, and that Batman can kick the shit out of Superman if he's willing to go far enough.
That's what I'm saying. Willing to go far.
Superman kills everybody on Earth in one of the Dark Earths. Kills everybody on Earth. Batman tries to attack him with kryptonite, and Superman bats it away before it can get to him and goes, "Without that, you can't really hurt me." is that really the only plan you had? And then he rips off Batman's arm before he can go in and pull any more kryptonite out.
Ooh, ow.
And what Batman resorts to is he has one last piece on his utility belt, one last contingency for if he ever fought Superman and couldn't kill him. He infects himself with the Doomsday virus and becomes Bat Doomsday. And Bat Doomsday kills Superman because Doomsday is genetically engineered to kill Superman. That's literally his only purpose.
Yeah.
Kills Superman.
Bat Doomsday.
And from that point on, Batman is just Bat Doomsday. And his entire universe falls apart because that's the end of all dark universes in New 52. They all fall apart.
They all fall apart, yeah.
Wow.
Did you guys read Kingdom Come?
Because they weren't meant to actually.
I haven't read Kingdom Come now.
Oh, that's got to be my all-time one of my top 3 all-time favorite DC stories. 2 of the greatest moments I've ever read in comic book history happened in that book. You should probably pick it up and give it. Not to mention the fact that Alex Ross is just an amazing artist.
Is Kingdom Come from DC or Marvel?
It's DC.
Okay.
It's set way in the future, and there's like a whole new like race of metahumans, and they're like completely out of control. And the older metahumans have to come together and fight against them. And it's very, very good. The artwork, like Alex Ross's artwork, is almost like oil painting. It's just glorious. It's gorgeous.
And now that we've moved into mostly DC category, Pam's sitting here like, this is outside of my realm. I'm the DC. She's the Marvel.
Well, I haven't gotten past the Red Death part yet on Dark Knight Metal, but I'm getting there. I just keep on having to find some time to read it every day.
So I'm gonna throw something at you guys. We had this conversation, but I'm gonna throw something at you guys, and for the people in the chat. So we all know who Jim Carrey is, right?
And my mic was off.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we all know who Jim Carrey is. We all know him as the Riddler in a Batman movie. How about Circe and I both agreed that
She agreed after much deliberation.
that he should be the next iteration of a live action Joker.
Considering that in the movie where he played the Riddler, he basically just played the Joker the whole fucking time with the Riddler costume.
Yeah, true.
I can see that. I could totally see that. But the only way that I would be behind it is if depending on who the writer was. Like if they're going to write some campy, stupid Joker, no. But if they're going to write him as
write the Joker as the enemy to Adam West's Batman, then yeah, that's problematic.
Yeah. Right, that's what I mean.
I want Jim Carrey's Joker to be the flaunty, in your face, here's my toys. Oh, look, a pie in your face. Yeah, it's got a bomb. That kind of Joker.
Yeah, like if so. I don't agree that Brainery says that Mark is the only Joker. I don't agree with that. Mark Hamill's Joker
Heath Ledger.
Well, no, my point is that Mark Hamill's Joker is the best Joker
of all time.
But it does not make him the only Joker. Heath Ledger does an amazing psychopathic gangster Joker. Jack Nicholson.
But the thing is, the movie itself was awful. Like Batman, whoever played Batman was awful.
You mean Christian Bale?
Val Kilmer.
Yeah,
I hate just showed you that Batman.
Yeah, I hate that movie.
It's weird.
So much.
I love that movie. I think Batman's the worst part of that movie.
Yeah, he's the worst part of that series.
Yep.
I didn't enjoy any of it.
Honestly, I actually think if they would.
Well, you think Goku's a good father, so I don't trust your opinion.
Honestly, I think if they scripted him better, I actually think Ben Affleck would have been a really good Batman. If the script hadn't sucked so bad.
Also,
he was trying too hard with the voice. I think maybe if he normalized his voice a little bit more, I think he would have been better.
Well, he's talking about Ben Affleck. You're talking about Christian Bale.
Okay. They both suck.
I like Ben Affleck's Batman. My only problem is that classically, and I'm not a purist on Batman or any of the DC characters.
I'm to the point where if it's live action, I won't watch it.
I will never get to that point because I'll at least give things a try. Even Wonder Woman was a good movie. So,
And Wonder Woman was a good movie.
But
That's the only one I thought was good.
Hold on. Wonder Woman was good in the Wonder Woman movie.
Yeah, the rest of it sucked.
Asshole who decided to play the man that he thought she needed.
Oh, Trevor?
He didn't.
Wonder Woman's story has always been linked to Trevor, though.
No, but the dude that played him in the live-action movie was fucking bad.
Okay, that's fine.
And he deserved to fucking fall off a boat.
Although I will say, so Wonder Woman was conceived during World War era. So Trevor was always a World War II pilot. I liked that in the Justice League series, when they played off the stuff that happened with Trevor, they turned it into time travel, where like she went back in time, fell in love with Trevor, and then when she came back to the modern day, she found old, decrepit, dying Trevor and comforted him as he left. Like, I thought that was a way to play that out.
I would say, like, the only reason I think it might just be a CG thing, but like when I watched, what was it, Batman versus Superman, I thought it was not a very good movie, but the fight scenes with Batman kicking ass with the gangsters is probably the most realistic fight scene I've ever seen a Batman character get in. Like, that's exactly how he would move. It's exactly how he would fight. Like, you watched even an animated series, you know what I mean? It was just so well done. It was just one of those scenes where it was like, this sucks, but I need to just like take that scene out so I could watch just that scene every now and again.
That's my problem. I need a good story and a good plot and a believable actor.
Well, you don't want to get
if
Zack
I don't
Snyder
have that, I don't care about the rest.
Well, you don't want Zack Snyder, because Zack Snyder doesn't know how to do those things.
He doesn't. What did you guys think about the Watchmen movie?
I haven't seen it. And he doesn't watch movies.
No, I've only read the graphic novel, and I'm excited that Watchmen is actually getting integrated into the DC universe proper soon.
Yeah, I would say Watchmen is possibly, to me, the greatest comic book series of all time. Or it's very close.
Well, it's
that's Alan Moore, though, man.
Series, though, it's kind of just one big book now.
Well, you know what I mean. Like it's like a standalone, but I would say as just maybe story arc is a better way to say it. It's like one of the best that I've ever read. I loved it.
I know as far
was
as
it not originally a comic book series, and then it got conglomerated into a?
Let me see, because I've only ever known Watchmen as the one book, so.
No, what I was going to say about the Jokers was the fact that there's been, what was it, 3 different Jokers throughout the entire Batman's career.
Oh, well, that's just because when he got in the fucking the meta chair and he asked the universe what the answer to the Joker was, it came up with 3. Also, Watchmen was a limited series, not a full comic series, that was adapted into a single volume.
Right, that's what I meant.
So we're right. We're in this weird middle ground. Also, Darth Killer said, Cyrus, what about the Uwe Boll movies? You're dead to me.
Yeah, that guy sucks the root.
Everything that Uwe Boll makes could go into a blender and kill an entire village.
Well, wasn't there like a 1 million person petition asking him to never make another movie?
Yeah.
1 million people signed a petition for him to never make another movie.
Yeah.
I will say that once we are done with this stream, we're probably going to end up going to pick up Iron Man, because I agreed to Pam that we were going to go through the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, because I had not done that yet. What I had done was I'd seen Iron Man years ago when it came out, and I pretty much would not watch any Marvel movie unless it had Tony Stark in it, because I really couldn't give a shit less.
Thank you, Rod.
But I'm finally getting to the point where I'm like, I also had never read comics up until a year ago. Like,
really?
Honestly, I didn't get heavy into comics.
Me too. That's about the same with me.
So
I've been reading them for over 30 years.
I grew up reading them and quit. I probably quit reading comic books about 15 years ago. But I grew up reading them.
So the first comic series that I ever read, not counting recently, the first comic series that I ever read
was Sonic.
No, I didn't actually get to read the Sonic series until way later too. That is a good series though. The first series that I ever got to read was and looking back on it, most of the fans of the series hated this era of the character. But I grew up starting out with Spider-Man Maximum Carnage.
Oh.
And from what I understand, people hated it almost as much as the fucking Clone Saga for Spider-Man. Though for me, I have a huge bit of nostalgia for it, so nah.
Well, I started off reading Blackest Night. That was the very first comic I read, was the Blackest Night story arc.
I've never read a comic.
What? Really? What about manga?
Haven't got a chance to. We don't really have the funds to. But I read webtoons online, which are close enough to
They're manhwas.
Yeah, they're manhwas.
Korean manga.
But I read them online, and that's about it. As far as I go with that, simply because I don't have enough time in the day that I want to spend like in like a manga and like in just something that I can hold and read. Like when I'm reading this, I can read it in the car when he's driving. Like I can read it while I'm laying down in bed, and I don't need a light because it's a phone.
Comic Storion's a good place to start.
Yeah.
But if I had to start anywhere with a comic like series, I'd probably start with Doctor Strange. I love Doctor Strange. I love the whole area around him, everything that he does. I love the story about. I especially love the adaptation, rather, of the cinematic version of him. But I've never really read into his comic story.
This is a very long-winded way of saying I love the movie.
I want you to look back at this stream, and then I want you to tell me how long it took you to try and come across with any sentence you've said.
Fair enough.
Oh, I'm going to ask you something, sir. What do you think of the miniseries Titans? It's coming out.
I am ambivalent towards it right now, but I'm leaning on possibly negative just based on the production that I've seen.
Wait, what is it?
Titans.
Oh, you mean the live-action adaptation of Teen Titans?
Yeah.
I've heard that it's okay.
I've seen some commercials, but I'm about to say I remain ambivalent right now until I actually see it.
That's where I sit, mainly because I'm glad that they changed Starfire's outfit. Because I was gonna boycott the movie if they didn't change her outfit.
I'm also glad they changed Beast Boy when they were like, "We're just gonna make Beast Boy's hair green. It'll be fine. We'll save up on makeup. It'll be okay." No. Fine. There's not that many comics where Beast Boy's not fucking green. Stop.
But with Starfire, her race are pretty much very leaning towards sexy. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but the thing is.
The original pictures we got of Starfire didn't even have her in like any type of Starfire-esque
It made her look like it was a bad closet cosplay Starfire.
It wasn't even a bad. I would hazard a guess that they made her look like a fucking streetwalker because of the outfit and the skirt that she was wearing. Made her look like I could pick her up $2, have a wonderful fucking $2 night, and then go home.
What was that, Wonder Lady?
That's what she's supposed to be, though.
Yeah.
She's not supposed to look like a prostitute. She's supposed to look sexual, but she's not supposed to look like she's a streetwalker. Like her outfit in the cartoon was great. And I'm talking like Teen Titans, not Teen Titans Go.
I figured as much because I refused.
And her outfit in the comics, bomb as fuck. I'm looking at it right now. Sirs has it pulled up. I don't feel any type of way towards this. This is great. This looks like Starfire.
Whereas the Starfire that they showed in the trailers was like we have a kind of a loose fitting sexy outfit, and then we've got like a fur coat. It's like that's
and her skirt was like I know Starfire's skirt is supposed to be kind of short, but they made it like plastic and then short, and it like
it looks like you know that cheap cosplay material that
there it is. That's the picture. Pull it up.
Oh, this one.
Screen share. Okay. Because that no.
Like it's not that the costume is a super sexy costume and that's the issue. Because here's the picture itself. there's not a real problem with that because, you know, you've got a character who classically looks like this.
And that's great.
But this looks appealing to the eye as well as being a sexy costume. Whereas the other costume doesn't look appealing to the eye.
It makes her look like a $2 prostitute, not a high quality, you know, pimp ass bitch that I want to fuck and spend like thousands of dollars on.
I'd watch your language a little bit at that point. It is still my channel.
It's okay if one video gets demonetized. One video.
But it's mainly that like the design was going for what the idea of the original Starfire was, but it failed on so many levels at doing that. It's just upsetting.
Thank you, Don Sack. I don't know. It was just one of those things where, like, when they released the pictures for the outfits, I was very disappointed.
It's the same issue with Beast Boy, because like with Beast Boy, what it seems like what they did is they went for this really not minimalistic approach, because that would have been fine too. A lazy way of portraying what those characters are. So it's like if they put Robin in a Halloween cosplay outfit, and if they put Starfire in the outfit they showed originally, if they just colored Beast Boy's hair green and left it at that, that's like budget cutting everything.
And I do want to point out that Clockwork says Starfire doesn't know who she is yet. It's not just Starfire that we have an issue with. Why isn't Beast Boy green? He's always been green.
Well, they've redone him now. Like, but it's the original designs that are problematic.
Yeah, like that's why I'm saying like I want to see it because I want to see the changes that they've done, but at the same time, I'm terrified to walk into this Titans movie and be met with a, you know, non-green Beast Boy, a, you know, $2 Starfire, a Robin that isn't Robin, and a Raven who's just an emo 15-year-old girl that, you know, doesn't look like Raven.
Yeah, back in my old, you know, emo days, back when I used to listen to MCR and Papa Roach.
So they're not going to have what's her name, Megan, the Martian Manhunters.
You mean the female one?
Yeah, I can't think of her name.
Megan.
It's Megan. Megan.
They're not going to have her because what they did is they've taken the original Teen Titans sans Cyborg, because canonically Cyborg is now part of the Justice League. Even in the comics, Cyborg is no longer part of the Teen Titans. He's part of the Justice League. Starfire, even though she's like 25 now in the comics, is in the Teen Titans. But Cyborg moved on. So it's the Teen Titans sans Cyborg. Young Justice is still technically the Teen Titans.
Is Wally West in the Titans?
What's up?
Is Wally West still in the Titans then?
He's in the Teen Titans
the universe.
In Young Justice, but he's not in this show.
Young Justice was amazing.
That sucks.
I gotta run.
I love Young Justice.
Alrighty, see you later, Wonderlady.
I don't want to go, but I've got to go.
Oh, okay.
Didn't you say you had to go like half an hour ago?
Yeah, I said I'd have to go in a half an hour.
Oh, well, here we are.
But happy birthday again.
Thank you so much, Faye.
And hopefully we get to talk our E0 soon.
Alrighty.
Yeah?
You two can fangirl over Rem.
Yeah, why not?
Right.
Anyway, thanks for having me on. Bye.
See you later, hon.
Red Ventures said that the success of superheroes, you think the suits wouldn't be afraid to go with comic style outfits. In some cases, I think that the comic style outfits are better. Like for Starfire, comic style outfit way better than what they went with in the
Thank you,
TV
Dracula.
series. But like, for an example, Hawkeye, I do not want his comic outfit. His comic outfit is a horrendous pile of trash.
It sucks.
I do not want
it's
comic
terrible.
outfit Wolverine. I do not want orange and blue
Right.
Wolverine. Please, no.
There are only two
Oh
allowed
Lord,
to wear white
no,
figures.
please.
The yellow and blue Wolverine, just no.
It's so cringy to look at. I just don't want it. Like, I liked, if there's one thing, if anybody has seen X-Men Evolution, TV series.
No.
What?
I watched a little bit of it. I saw a little bit
I
of it.
love the cringe.
What cringe? Confused.
X-Men Evolution.
Have you ever seen it?
No.
Then where's your opinion coming from?
I'm just imagining a bunch of people in the original comic Wolverine outfit.
Oh God. No, in X-Men Evolution, they actually use more of the movie inspired outfits that are more down to earth. But it's a cartoon series.
Mhm.
So like Wolverine has black and brown as his colors as opposed to fucking neon yellow and blue.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh god, like I love X-Men, but man, those '80s costumes.
Yeah, costumes were
Yeah, the X-Men costume design has got to be possibly the worst part of X-Men. Like hands down. Like X-Men is wonderful and it paved the way for so much. It's wonderful. But the costume designs need to stay.
Oh God, they were terrible. Banshee.
Yes. Oh God, don't
Oh
remind.
God, Banshee's costume. Yeah, they were all dreadful, and they always have been.
Yeah, they've never been good.
I actually could not look at Jubilee.
Oh, you mean
Jubilee.
green and like huge green and yellow? You don't like that?
Yeah, I couldn't look at it.
No.
I don't like
Kitty
green.
Pryde.
Like green is a color that kind of bugs me. So when I look at it, I'm like, oh God, please, please stop.
Speaking of the old school X-Men stuff,
Fucking raincoat Jubilee.
The raincoat. Yeah, yeah, that's what I was
speaking of the old school X-Men, did you guys ever see the guy the group of guys that took the Juggernaut from the old X-Men cartoon and they redubbed it?
No.
Oh God, I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
Yeah, well, I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. My clothes are so tight. And they cut the one guy, and he's like, look at it, man. I'm a pop top stripper, and I do hair. It's classic.
So Juggernaut's in Deadpool 2, and I love the way that they fucking did him. Like, oh my fucking God. He's so
I
sarcastic.
haven't seen Deadpool. I haven't seen Deadpool 2 yet, and I really, really want to.
Highly recommend it. It's so fucking funny.
I haven't seen it yet either.
I'm going to have to find a way to get.
You guys are gonna like the way that they did Juggernaut.
I love Juggernaut. I like Juggernaut in the old stuff, so I can't wait to see him in the new stuff.
I wonder, just with Juggernaut's outfit, how that would translate. I'm talking about the old X-Men Juggernaut with the helmet and everything. I wonder how the fuck that would translate to real life.
Right now, Brooke, we are talking about comics and movies and just general things.
It's Pam's birthday, so it's a birthday stream for her. So instead of dealing with any of the hard topics, we're dealing with the fun ones.
Except for the fact that us and Wonder Lady got into a fight over Goku
over whether or not Goku's a good father, and he's not.
He's not.
He's wrong.
Russ came back.
I did.
I'm just going to say Faye is never wrong.
Thank you so much. Brooke.
And even I almost had to cough my inhaler out just to disagree with Goku being a good father.
Right?
I heard talk about Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
So I had to come in.
Yeah.
Goku is a father, says Kitten. Yes.
Goku's
Surprisingly
a father?
enough, he has 2 children. 2.
Yeah, he does.
He's more of a
I
father
believe-
to Pan, though. That's the sad thing.
That's what I was saying earlier, was that he's actually like a dad to Pan.
Goten, he couldn't he couldn't care about Goten at all.
Nobody cared about Goten. Chi-Chi didn't
To be
really
fair,
care.
even the fan base doesn't care about Goten.
It was fucking great just watching Chi-Chi give up after Gohan. Just gave right the fuck up.
She was like, fuck this, I'm out. Just do whatever you want to with Goten.
Right? Just like, oh, you want to throw him into a brick wall? Yeah, I don't care. I have one good kid.
I had the smart kid. Don't worry about that one.
I have one kid that became a scholar. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Oh,
All I
geez.
gotta say about poor Gohan is that he really, really needed to learn how to dodge.
Thank you so much, Glitch. We'll
Well,
see you
see,
later.
I think with Gohan, with him becoming, more intelligent than Goku, he was actually a very good strategist.
I would like to point out that it didn't take much for him to get more intelligent than his father.
True, good point there.
This is
Damn.
true.
His
Goku
dad
was
not.
never very intelligent.
Not even when strategizing. I mean, his entire take on it: punch at it harder. If it doesn't work,
Or
punch
run
it harder.
into it with your face.
Yeah,
That's how he
too.
beat Piccolo.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't work, just punch it harder.
The way Goku treated Gohan versus the way Piccolo treated Gohan, like in 6 months, Piccolo did more with Gohan than Goku had in 4 years.
Like he really genuinely treated him like he was his son, like a child that he had to protect. And I know at the beginning he was just using him, but they got this great bond later, and it was so good. I loved it. I loved the Piccolo saga.
It's very, very heart-wrenching to think about, like, how far Gohan has come. And the fact that even in Super, like, everyone knows that Piccolo is Gohan's dad. It doesn't matter who the sperm donor was. Piccolo is Gohan's dad.
Goku the sperm donor is probably the most accurate way his fathership has been described.
Right? It's just very, very I don't know. I don't like saying that Goku's not a dad because he was there for Gohan. He did do a couple of good things for Gohan, but the fact that Piccolo would literally risk his life and even surrender his life with the intention of making sure that Gohan was safe is great. Like, even when he was training him, when Goku was training him, Gohan would just get hit and hurt and everything would just go wrong. But with Piccolo made sure that if anything was attacking him, he was there and watching. And made sure that anything that happened was approved and safe. And he could intervene at any point in time.
You see, because Goku, he wasn't a total deadbeat dad. He was gone for a while.
He was a deadbeat until Super, where Chi-Chi made him finally start working on a farm.
Yeah. I mean, he was a deadbeat for quite a while, and in fact, I think it's very heavily implied in Dragon Ball that when he had him, he basically didn't interact with him outside of "I'm home" for the 5 minutes I'm home before I go back to training.
Yep. Which is what I was mentioning earlier, was that it's heavily implied that Goku just didn't, care until Gohan got old enough to start training, and then he started caring. And even then it was only, can Gohan train? Chi-Chi, no, well, he's going to train anyway.
And then in Z, that's why everybody's just shocked he actually has a child, because he never mentions him.
And it's like, Goku, you know how to sex? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jim.
Vegeta, the fuck the condom.
No, I still remember on Dragon Ball, my favorite part.
I love Abridged so much.
It's over 9,000!
Remember, the best part of the Dragon Ball dub is the balls are inert.
Are you talking about Abridged?
No, that's the original dub.
That's in the original dub for sure.
When he lays down in Bulma's lap, tries to go to sleep.
I like Dragon Ball Abridged.
Dragon Ball Abridged is good, but it doesn't take away from the original show being good as well.
I agree.
I just don't know enough about it to be able to contribute, so I'm just staying silent.
Yeah, I'm in the same place as you, man. I watched some Dragon Ball, but really only because it was on. and some of the fight scenes were cool. You know what I mean? I always thought it was cool, but it was never anything I got super far into.
And then
Well, the thing is,
Krillin sniffed the Dragon Ball because it was Bulma was hiding it. Of where Bulma was hiding it.
the only thing that I've seen that about the actual show is the scene where I think it's Goku skates on the
he skates
beam that's about to
Khalifa's attack using a Kamehameha blast he hasn't used yet.
Yeah, I even knowing very little about Dragon Ball, I still was like, holy shit.
Yeah, no, that was a very good scene. There's a lot of scenes in Super that are just nice in that they understand what the Dragon Ball fandom wants to see, and so they show them that.
Then there's Ultra Instinct. That I actually love.
That is the most memeable form of all time.
Yeah, like I've watched like Dragon Ball Z, Kai, all that, but I haven't ever really gotten into Super because it just starts to feel like it's becoming a little much, you know.
I would.
Or is that yours?
I would agree that Super's a little much if there wasn't a 20-year hiatus between C and Super.
I'm lying.
Also,
I mean, that's pretty fair.
Also, thank you, good listeners, for the birthday wishes.
But for Dragon Ball, though, since there was a good 20-year hiatus between Z and Super, I'm willing to accept Super as its own thing, and it does well for what it is. And I will say also, Super understands something that Dragon Ball Z did not. It understands how to do a story arc in 12 episodes. It understands how to be a well-paced fucking show.
Oh, you mean like 12-episode fight scenes?
No.
I mean, I'm joking.
Because that's what Dragon Ball Z did.
That's what Dragon Ball.
That's what
I'm powering up.
2 episodes later. But no, with Super, your story arcs will never take more, with one exception, will never take more than 12 episodes.
Thank you, Klaus.
Which is nice because like Resurrection F is 12 to 14 episodes. Battle of Gods is 12 to 14 episodes. 12 to 14 episodes for Universal Survival Arc. 12 to 14 episodes for the Future Trunks saga. And then the only exception to that is when they go into the full-on like Universal Survival tournament. That takes longer, but they also have literally like 300 people duking it out, so it makes sense it's going to take longer. And that's where you get a lot of your like really good Dragon Ball fan service moments, like Goku skating on a fucking energy blast.
Yeah.
That like I said,
that was
just even knowing very little about it, whenever I saw that, you know, I sit there and saw him do the Kame, and then she's like, oh, hell no, because watch this. Bam. And then all of a sudden, he's just like, whoop, right past it. And I was like, the fuck? And then just to have that all right there in her face, like point blank, just right there in the face, I was like, oh yeah, she did.
And I still think they cheated by using Potara earrings. They cheated by using Potara earrings. That was
not to get
cheating.
Not to get way off topic, but a series I really liked, I just thought about it. I used to love The Guyver.
Oh, The Guyver. That was an awesome series.
Never seen it.
It's a great series, man. It's really good.
It is. It is. I saw it way back in the day. I can't even remember much of it now, but I just remember it.
That's
was
wrong.
Really good.
That's wrong, though. Pam just looked up a chronological Marvel Cinematic, like the Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, like how you're supposed to watch the Marvel movies. And it's like, Captain America's the first one. I'm like, wrong!
No. It's Captain America, the first Avenger, the 1943 version. The old Captain America version.
Old school.
No.
Old school.
No. Incorrect.
If you're wanting, are we talking about strictly Marvel minus X-Men, or are we talking about X-Men
The Marvel Cinematic Universe does not include the X-Men universe. They're owned by separate companies.
Or the
right,
Fantastic
so-
Four universe, which is one of the reasons I think that makes a lot of it so
So-
confusing.
Then how is that not correct? Because you have Captain America who was fighting during World War II. Who's before then?
Wolverine, for one.
Well, Wolverine's not in this.
No, it's not. No, I mean that it makes sense that you would start with the first Avenger because it is the oldest in the series and it kind of connects everything together.
Well,
But Iron Man was the first one put out, wasn't it?
Yeah, that sounds.
Well, the thing is, if you are trying to put it in chronological, as in to be contingent with as in chronologically what would have happened first, then yes, it would be Captain America.
Okay,
But
Correct.
if you're gonna go,
Okay, look. Let me make this. Let me
Okay.
make this egregious error make sense to you. Okay,
Captain America.
it is Google. It will understand. Hold on. No, there is a movie.
No, that's not the right one.
Oh, I'm fairly certain
It looks like Chris Evans.
that's not Chris Evans.
Looks like Chris Evans.
That is a cloth suit. That is not Chris Evans.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. No, hold on. Original.
See you later, Lance.
Oh, the original Captain America was so.
Yeah,
bad,
no.
though.
It's talking about this shit. It's saying to watch this shit first, like this,
Oh no! Yeah, no.
like
no.
this.
Not that. That's the one I was talking about. That was so awful. That's
You know, it's saying that this is the movie to watch first.
no. You don't. No. Don't go. Don't.
Do you see why this is an egregious error? Frustrated.
No, I
Yes.
didn't because my thing messed up. Oh God, no! Please don't.
Okay,
Ever.
okay.
No one should
Now,
ever. That should be
hopefully-
dead.
Hopefully
needs
you
to be-
understand now.
That
That's the
needs to be
issue.
wiped. That needs
Oh,
to be
yeah,
wiped
no.
from history.
That doesn't even count anymore.
Like, can we please get
as
Booster Gold here
canon.
to fix this?
Please get Booster Gold in here and fix
Like I
this.
said, that doesn't even count as canon.
See you later, Rex.
Yeah,
We
it's
definitely need
dead.
Booster Gold. We need Booster Gold
It's-
for this.
Like I said, it doesn't even count as canon in my opinion. I don't give a shit what
That's not
anybody
even an
else says.
opinion. That's just fact.
Yes, yes.
That's just fact. That's not opinion at all.
So no, that's not. It's yeah. So
God, that show.
scrap that completely. It does as far as timeline goes, as far as within the cinematic universe.
Just erase,
it would
just
be
erase it from existence.
yeah, and
But
it
with
would
that-
start off with Chris Evans.
But with that said, we have been going for about 2.5 hours, and the person whose birthday it is, who we are running the stream for, is hungry. So we are going to go ahead and stop the podcast. But I do thank you guys for hopping in the chat, and I do thank you guys for coming out into the Hangout so we could do this as opposed to my regular uploads and just kind of hang out and dig around for a bit.
Thank you, guys.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.